The sun was setting over the village of Kanata, painting the sky with shades of red and orange. On the streets below, people bustled about, preparing for the night. Amid the noise and movement, a boy with spiky blonde hair sat alone on a swing outside the academy. His blue eyes stared ahead, devoid of emotion, his usual cheer and facade gone. Naruto Uzumaki felt different. He had always been an outcast. People whispered behind his back, called him a demon, a monster. He used to care. He used to yearn for their approval, their acknowledgement. But now, something had awakened inside him. Something ancient. Something powerful. He didn't fully understand it, but he knew one thing for certain: he didn't care anymore. Inside his mind, a voice whispered. You are not what they say you are, boy. You are more. Far more. Naruto's lips twitched into a smirk. The voice wasn't like the Kyuubi's, it wasn't full of rage or malice. It was calm, cold, and calculating. It felt familiar. Like it had always been there, buried deep within him, waiting for the right moment to resurface. He clenched his fists, feeling the raw power coursing through his veins. His body felt stronger, more durable, like nothing could harm him. He wasn't the weak, helpless boy everyone thought he was. Not anymore. Hey, loser. A shout broke his reverie. Naruto glanced up lazily to see Kaiba and a few other kids approaching. They always found some reason to mess with him, to try and assert their dominance. Normally, Naruto would yell, make a scene, or try to outsmart them with pranks. But today was different. Not in the mood, Naruto muttered under his breath, standing up from the swing. What was that? Kaiba taunted, stepping closer. You think you're too good for us, huh? Or are you just scared? The old Naruto might have been rattled by this. But the old Naruto was gone, replaced by something far more dangerous. Naruto's eyes darkened, and without warning, he raised his hand. Kaiba and the others froze. The air around them grew thick, heavy, like gravity itself was pressing down on them. They struggled to breathe, their knees buckling under the pressure. What the hell? Kaiba gasped, clutching his chest as his body trembled. Naruto's smirk widened. The power flowing through him was intoxicating, exhilarating. He didn't even have to try. With a mere thought, he could crush them. And why shouldn't he? They were insignificant. All of them. Crush them. The voice urged him on, and for once, Naruto didn't resist. He embraced it. Kaiba and the others collapsed to the ground, writhing in pain, as if invisible hands were squeezing the life out of them. Naruto's gaze bore into them, cold and uncaring. They weren't even worth killing. Not yet. Next time, Naruto said softly, his voice dripping with menace, don't waste my time. He released his hold, and the pressure lifted. Kaiba and the others scrambled to their feet, terror in their eyes as they fled without a word. Naruto watched them go, his smirk never faltering. Weak. All of them were weak. As he walked through the village, the stares and whispers followed him as usual, but this time, they didn't bother him. The villagers' hatred and fear were insignificant now. They were nothing compared to the power growing inside him, the power that was his by right. His mind was already shifting, plotting. The Hokage, the council, the village, they were beneath him. They didn't matter. They were pieces on a board, pawns to be moved or discarded at his whim. Konoha was a cage, but Naruto wasn't going to be trapped by it any longer. He made his way to the Hokage monument, climbing to the top and gazing down at the village below. The sprawling buildings and streets look small from up here. Insignificant. Just like the people. This world is weak. You could shape it into something more. The voice echoed in his mind again. It was right. These people weren't fit to rule. They clung to their updated beliefs and traditions, blind to the reality that strength was the only truth that mattered. Naruto would tear it all down. He would rebuild the world, not in their image, but in his own. Naruto's hands clenched into fists as raw power surged through him. His senses sharpened, his vision stretching across the entire village. He could hear every conversation, sense every heartbeat, feel the chakra of every shinobi in Konoha. It was overwhelming and yet, at the same time, it felt natural. He was above them. All of them. As he stood there, basking in his newfound power, Naruto felt a presence approaching. It was familiar, irritatingly so. Kakashi appeared at his side, his usual casual demeanor masking the concern in his one visible eye. "Enjoying the view, Naruto?" Kakashi asked, his voice neutral but probing. Naruto didn't bother looking at him. "What do you want?" Kakashi raised an eyebrow at the cold tone. This wasn't the loud, boisterous Naruto he knew. Something was different. "I heard about what happened with Kaiba and the others," Kakashi said, his tone cautious. "That wasn't like you?" Naruto chuckled, but there was no humor in it. "Maybe you don't know me as well as you think." Kakashi studied him for a moment, his eye narrowing. "Naruto." Before he could finish, Naruto turned to face him, his eyes glowing with a faint red light. Kakashi froze. The pressure in the air shifted, and for a moment, he felt something terrifying. It wasn't chakra, at least not in the way he was used to. It was something else, something darker, more ancient. "You should leave," Naruto said quietly, but the threat in his words was unmistakable. "Before I stop caring about you too." Kakashi's heart skipped a beat. There was something deeply wrong here. He'd seen the Kyubai's influence on Naruto before, but this was different. More controlled, more sinister. But Kakashi knew better than to push. For now. Without another word, he nodded and disappeared, leaving Naruto alone once more. Naruto turned back to the village, his expression unreadable. He could feel it now, his true power, his true purpose. He wasn't some helpless orphan, some pathetic vessel for the Kyubai. He was something far greater, something far more powerful. He was a god. Your enemies will soon learn what you are capable of. This world will kneel before you. Naruto smiled. He didn't care about being Hokage anymore. He didn't care about earning the respect or love of these villagers. They were beneath him. He was beyond them, beyond their petty concerns, their weak ideals. He would burn their world to the ground, and from the ashes, he would build something worthy of his power. Something that would last. Naruto Uzumaki was no longer a mere child of Konoha. He was the reincarnation of something far more terrifying. Something the universe itself feared. And soon, they would all understand. The next day, Naruto strolled into the academy like nothing had changed, though inside, he was different, stronger, colder. The other students kept their distance, fear evident in their eyes. Even Iruka, who usually greeted Naruto with warmth, seemed uneasy. Naruto smirked inwardly. Good. They should be afraid. As the class droned on, Naruto didn't bother paying attention. What could they teach him? These lessons, these techniques, they were all beneath him now. Instead, he focused inward, on the power humming just beneath his skin, waiting to be unleashed. But then, something interesting happened. Mizuki, one of the academy instructors, approached him after class, offering a conspiratorial smile. Naruto, I have something important to tell you. Meet me outside the village tonight. Naruto didn't bother asking why. He could already sense the deception in Mizuki's voice, the treachery in his heart. The fool thought he could manipulate him, use him to steal the forbidden scroll. How quaint. That night, as Naruto stood in a forest waiting, Mizuki finally appeared, a smug grin on his face. Thanks for showing up, Naruto, Mizuki said, tossing him the large scroll. Take that and run. The village will be after you soon, but this is your chance to prove yourself. Naruto caught the scroll but didn't even glance at it. His eyes were fixed on Mizuki, unblinking, his expression unreadable. You really think I'm that stupid? Naruto asked, his voice low, almost bored. Mizuki blinked in surprise, his grin faltering. What? Naruto's eyes glowed red again, and Mizuki felt his body lock up. He couldn't move, couldn't breathe. You're nothing, Naruto whispered, stepping closer. And you're going to die for thinking you could use me? Mizuki's eyes widened in terror as he struggled against the invisible force holding him. Wait, no. Naruto raised his hand, and with a mere thought, Mizuki's body was crushed into the ground with a sickening crack. His blood pooled on the dirt, his life snuffed out in an instant. Naruto stared down at the body, unimpressed. Another insignificant insect, squashed beneath his power. This world, it was pathetic. And soon, he would tear it apart. One weakling at a time. Naruto stood over Mizuki's lifeless body, the forest eerily silent around him. The moonlight filtered through the trees, casting long shadows that danced across the blood-stained ground. He could hear the faint rustle of leaves in the breeze, the distant hum of the village beyond the trees. But none of it mattered. The taste of power was intoxicating, and the more he'd embraced it, the more he realized just how insignificant everything else was. Kanata. The shinobi. The Hokage. Their rules, their system, it was all built on weakness. Lies. Naruto wiped the blood off his hands, barely giving the corpse another glance. He didn't need to. Mizuki was nothing, another fool who thought he could manipulate him. But now, Naruto understood. He wasn't just some outcast, some lost child hoping for approval. He was power. He was the future. And he was going to tear down everything that stood in his way. As he walked deeper into the forest, his senses stretched out, feeling the presence of others approaching. Iruka was close by. Of course, he would come. Always the dutiful teacher, always trying to save Naruto from whatever trouble he found himself in. But this time, Iruka wouldn't understand. He couldn't. Naruto didn't slow down. He wasn't afraid. In fact, part of him welcomed the confrontation. He wanted to see just how far the people of this village would go to stop him, how hard they would fight against something they couldn't even comprehend. He stepped into a clearing, the moonlight illuminating him in pale silver. A moment later, Iruka appeared, breathless and frantic. Naruto. Iruka called, his eyes wide with concern. What are you doing with that scroll? You need to return it before. Before he could finish, Iruka's gaze fell on Mizuki's body, crumpled in the dirt behind Naruto. His face paled, shock and horror spreading across his features. Naruto, what did you do? Naruto's lips curved into a cold smile. What needed to be done? Iruka took a step back, disbelief washing over him. This wasn't a Naruto he knew. The loud, mischievous boy who just wanted to be acknowledged, this wasn't him. There was something wrong, something dark and terrifying in the way Naruto carried himself now. He didn't just exude confidence. It was something else. Something oppressive. Naruto, you don't have to do this, Iruka said cautiously, trying to keep his voice steady. Whatever Mizuki told you, he was lying. The scroll. I don't care about the scroll, Naruto interrupted, his tone flat, emotionless. Or Mizuki. Or any of it. Iruka's heart sank. Then why? Naruto tilted his head, as if considering the question. Why not? He chuckled softly, his voice almost mocking. This world is a joke. You don't see it, do you? All of you, clinging to these rules, these traditions, thinking they make you strong. But strength is the only thing that matters. Iruka shook his head, stepping closer. That's not true, Naruto. Strength isn't everything. What about your friends? What about? Naruto's eyes flashed red, and Iruka froze in place, his body paralyzed by an invisible force. Naruto's smirk widened, amused by how easily he could control the situation now. Friends? Naruto echoed, his voice dripping with disdain. What have friends ever done for me? They feared me. Hated me. Even you, Iruka. You only pretended to care because it was your job. Iruka's face twisted in pain, but he couldn't speak, couldn't move. The weight of Naruto's power pressed down on him, and he realized this wasn't just some rebellious phase. Something had changed in Naruto, something far deeper that he could understand. You don't get it, do you? Naruto continued, his eyes glowing brighter, the air around him shimmering with dark energy. I'm done being weak. I'm done playing their games. Kanata, the Hokage, all of it's nothing to me now. I don't care about any of you. He released Iruka, who gasped and stumbled back, clutching his chest. The fear in his eyes was unmistakable. Don't make me your enemy, Naruto, Iruka pleaded, his voice barely above a whisper. There's still a chance to stop this. You don't have to go down this path. Naruto's smile vanished, replaced by a cold, calculating expression. Enemy? No, Iruka. You're not my enemy. You're nothing. None of you are. Before Iruka could respond, Naruto turned and began walking away, his footsteps soft on the forest floor. Iruka watched him go, fear and sorrow gnawing at him. He couldn't let this happen. He couldn't let Naruto fall into the darkness. But what could he do? What could any of them do? As Naruto disappeared into the night, Iruka knew one thing for certain: the boy he had tried to protect, the boy he had cared for, was gone. Naruto moved through the village like a shadow, unseen and unstoppable. His senses were heightened, his mind sharper than ever. The power inside him grew with each passing moment, reshaping his thoughts, his desires. The village was beneath him now. It was nothing but a cage, a place that had tried to control him, to suppress him. But now, he was free. He made his way to the Hokage's office, sliding past the guards with ease. They couldn't sense him, couldn't stop him. They were blind to the true power standing in their midst. As he entered a darkened room, his eyes fell on the Hokage's desk, where stacks of papers lay scattered. Here isn't Sarutobi, the third Hokage, said behind the desk, his eyes narrowing as he sensed Naruto's presence. Naruto, the old man said calmly, though his voice carried an edge of caution. What are you doing here? Naruto's gaze flicked to the elderly leader, unamused. I've come to say goodbye. Sarutobi's eyes widened slightly, but he didn't move. Goodbye? What do you mean? Naruto stepped forward, his movements slow and deliberate, like a predator stalking its prey. This village. I'm done with it. It's weak. You're weak. All of you. You cling to a broken system, thinking it makes you strong, but you're just prolonging the inevitable. Sarutobi's face hardened. Naruto, you don't understand. I understand more than you'd think, old man, Naruto interrupted, his voice cold and devoid of emotion. And I've made my decision. This village has nothing left for me. Sarutobi stood slowly, his posture tense. You're making a mistake. Whatever has happened to you, it can be fixed. We can help you. Naruto laughed softly, the sound sending chills down Sarutobi's spine. Help? I don't need help. I'm beyond that now. Without warning, Naruto raised his hand, and the air around him crackled with dark energy. Sarutobi's eyes widened as he felt the oppressive force wash over him, heavier than anything he had felt before. It wasn't chakra. It was something else. Something far more dangerous. Goodbye, old man, Naruto said softly, his voice like a whisper of death. Sarutobi barely had time to react before the dark energy slammed into him, sending him crashing into the wall with bone-shattering force. He gasped for breath, his vision blurring as the pain wrecked his body. But even through the haze of agony, he could feel the raw, terrifying power radiating from Naruto. This wasn't a Kyubai's influence. This was something else entirely. Something far worse. Naruto stood over the Hokage's broken form, his expression impassive. He didn't care anymore. About the village. About the Hokage. About any of it. They were all insignificant now, mere specks in a vast universe that stretched beyond their understanding. With a final glance at the shattered man before him, Naruto turned and walked out of the office, leaving the village behind. The night was still and quiet as he made his way out of Kanata, the weight of the village's future hanging in the balance. But Naruto didn't care. He had outgrown this place, outgrown these people. They were nothing to him now. He was no longer a part of this world. He was something greater. Something far more powerful. And soon, the world would tremble at his feet. Dash. As Naruto vanished into the night, leaving behind the broken village of Kanata, the winds whispered his name. They carried a warning, a promise of destruction, and a future shaped by the hands of a god. Naruto moved through the dark forests beyond Kanata, his mind racing with possibilities. The village no longer mattered. The people he had once thought of as comrades, even enemies, were now beneath his notice. His thoughts stretched farther, reaching beyond the confines of the hidden leaf and into the broader world. This world, with its weak leaders and fractured nations, was ripe for the taking. He was no longer constrained by the rules of this pathetic system. He was above it. The ancient voice in his mind spoke again, clearer now, resonating with every step he took. You are the end, Naruto. This world has existed for too long under the weight of weakness. You will break it, and from its ashes, create something fitting of your power. Naruto's lips curled into a smile as he thought of Konoha burning. They wouldn't even know what hit them. The Hokage was just the first. The rest of the village would crumble just as easily. And after Kanata? The other great villages. He would destroy them all, reshape the world in his image. Hours later, deep in the heart of the wilderness, Naruto came to a stop beside a small stream. The moonlight reflected off the water, casting an eerie glow on his face. He could feel the power pulsing inside him, a presence that felt almost alive. It was like a storm waiting to be unleashed. But before he could act, something stirred in the distance. A figure appeared at the edge of the clearing, stepping out from the shadows. It was Kakashi. He stood tall, but there was an uncharacteristic seriousness in his posture, his one visible eye narrowed with focus. I figured you'd come after me, Naruto said without turning to look at him. His voice was calm, but there was a hint of mockery beneath it. Kakashi didn't respond right away. He had seen the aftermath in the Hokage's office. The destruction, the blood, the broken body of the man he respected more than anyone. He knew the truth now. Naruto was no longer the same person he had once been. You've changed, Naruto, Kakashi said quietly, his tone edged with caution. I don't know what's happened to you, but this path it's not too late to turn back. Naruto finally turned, meeting Kakashi's gaze with cold, unfeeling eyes. Turn back, he repeated with a smirk. To what? This village? These people? Why would I want to return to that? Kakashi's expression darkened. Because you were part of something bigger than yourself. You had friends. You had people who cared about you. Naruto's smile disappeared. Care about me? He scoffed. No one ever cared about me. They feared me. They pitied me. That's all they ever did. Kakashi took a step forward, his hands at his sides, ready for whatever might come. You're wrong, Naruto. The people of Konoha, Iruka, Sakura, even Sasuke, they all. Sasuke. Naruto interrupted, his eyes narrowing. The name was like a trigger, igniting a flicker of anger. Sasuke is just another weakling chasing after power he'll never understand. Just like you. Just like all of them. Kakashi hesitated. He could sense it now, the darkness that had consumed Naruto. It wasn't a Kyuubi. It was something far more malevolent. He wasn't sure what had happened, but whatever it was, it had twisted Naruto into something unrecognizable. I won't let you destroy everything, Kakashi said, his voice firm. If I have to stop you, I will. Naruto's grin returned, and the air around him began to riddle with dark energy. "You think you can stop me, Kakashi?" he asked, his voice low, almost a whisper. "You're welcome to try." Without warning, Naruto raised his hand, and a massive wave of energy exploded from his body, distorting the air and sending shockwaves through the forest. Trees snapped like twigs, the ground trembling beneath the sheer force of it. Kakashi barely had time to react, leaping back just in time to avoid the blast. Naruto's power had grown exponentially. This was no ordinary chakra. It was something otherworldly, something far beyond what Kakashi had ever faced before. Kakashi landed on a branch, his heart pounding. This wasn't a fight he could win easily, if at all. But he had no choice. He had to try. "Naruto," Kakashi called out, his Sharingan spinning as he activated his Mangekyou. "Don't make me do this." Naruto didn't respond. He simply raised his hand again, dark energy swirling around his fingertips. He moved faster than Kakashi could track, appearing in front of him in an instant. The raw power emanating from Naruto made the air itself heavy, almost suffocating. "You're in my way," Naruto said coldly, before thrusting his hand forward. Kakashi managed to dodge, but barely. The force of Naruto's attack shattered the branch he had been standing on, sending splinters flying through the air. Kakashi landed on the ground below, breathing heavily. Naruto's strength wasn't just physical, it was as if he was bending reality itself. Kakashi knew he couldn't hold back. This was no longer about saving Naruto. This was about survival. With a grim expression, Kakashi waved a series of hand signs at lightning speed. Kamui. His main to kill Sharingan swirled, creating a vortex of space-time around Naruto. The dimension warping ability was one of Kakashi's most powerful techniques, one that had never failed him before. But Naruto didn't even flinch. As the space around him began to distort, Naruto raised his hand, and with a simple gesture, the swirling vortex of Kamui shattered, as though it were nothing but a fragile illusion. Kakashi's eyes widened in disbelief. "That won't work on me," Naruto said, his voice filled with dark amusement. "I'm not playing by your rules anymore." Kakashi barely had time to react as Naruto surged forward, his fist colliding with Kakashi's chest in a blur of motion. The impact sent Kakashi flying backward, crashing through trees before finally hitting the ground with a sickening thud. Kakashi lay there, gasping for breath, blood trickling from his mouth. The pain was overwhelming, but more than that, the sheer power Naruto had unleashed left him in shock. Naruto was no longer human. As Kakashi struggled to stand, Naruto appeared above him, looking down with cold, detached eyes. "I warned you," Naruto said softly. "You should have stayed out of my way." Before Naruto could finish him, a voice echoed through the forest, stopping him in his tracks. "Enough." Naruto turned his head slightly, sensing a new presence. From the shadows emerged a figure cloaked in red armor, his eyes burning with determination. It was Sasuke. He stood tall, his Rinnegan activated, power radiating off him in waves. His expression was a mixture of fury and resolve. "Naruto," Sasuke said, his voice low but firm, "I'm not letting you destroy everything. This ends now." Naruto's smirk returned, amused by the sight of his former teammate. "Sasuke," he said mockingly. "You think you can stop me?" Sasuke's eyes narrowed, his Rinnegan glowing with power. "I won't let you destroy Kanata. I won't let you destroy the world." Naruto chuckled, the sound dark and sinister. "You're just like them, Sasuke. Clinging to a broken system. But I've moved beyond that." Sasuke's grip tightened on his sword. "You've lost yourself, Naruto. But if I have to, I'll stop you here." The tension between the two was palpable, the air thick with the promise of violence. Two gods standing on the brink of war, their power enough to shake the foundations of the world. Naruto's eyes gleamed with malice, his voice a whisper that carried across the battlefield. "Then come, Sasuke. Let's see who's truly worthy of shading this world." Sasuke stood firm, The weight of his Rinnegan and eternal Mangekill Sharingan sharpening his senses. The world seemed to slow around him, and yet Naruto's presence still pressed down like a suffocating blanket of malevolent energy. Sasuke could feel in the darkness that had consumed his former friend, something far beyond even the Kyuubi. This wasn't just raw power. It was as though Naruto had become something else entirely. Still, Sasuke couldn't hesitate. He had to stop this madness. Naruto's grin widened, his red eyes glinting under the moonlight. You're still clinging to hope, aren't you, Sasuke? You think you can save Konoha. Save me. But you don't get it. There's nothing left to save. Sasuke's grip on his sword tightened, lightning sparking around his blade. This village may be flawed, but it's still worth protecting. If you can see that, then you've truly lost your way. Naruto raised an eyebrow, unimpressed. Lost my way. He chuckled darkly, the sound rumbling like distant thunder. No, Sasuke. I've found my way. The only truth in this world is power. You know it too, don't you? That's why you left the village in the first place. You sought power, just like I did. Sasuke's expression hardened. I sought power to break the cycle of hatred. You're only continuing it. Hatred, Naruto repeated, almost tasting the word. That's just another form of strength. The world is shaped by those who control it. And now he raised his hand, dark energy swirling and crackling around his fingertips. I control it. In an instant, Naruto launched a wave of energy toward Sasuke, the air splitting under its sheer force. Sasuke barely had time to react, teleporting with his Rinnegan to avoid the attack. The ground behind him exploded in a cloud of debris and shattered rock, the sheer power leaving a crater that stretched for miles. Naruto didn't even wait for the dust to settle before he charged, faster than Sasuke had ever seen him move. Sasuke's Sharingan spun as he brought his sword up to block, but Naruto's fist collided with the blade with such force that a shockwave sent Sasuke flying backward through the forest. Trees snapped and splintered like twigs as Sasuke skidded to a halt, breathing heavily. This is pointless, Sasuke, Naruto said, appearing above him again, his figure silhouetted against the pale moonlight. You're just delaying the inevitable. Sasuke wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, his eyes blazing with resolve. I'll delay it as long as I have to. I won't let you destroy everything. Naruto smirked, amused by Sasuke's defiance. Then die trying. Before Sasuke could respond, Naruto raised both hands, the air around him warping as dark energy crackled and surged outward. The oppressive force was unlike anything Sasuke had ever felt. Gravity itself seemed to bend under Naruto's will. Sasuke quickly formed the seals for his own counterattack, calling upon the full power of his Susanoo. The massive ethereal warrior formed around him, its glowing blade at the ready. Sasuke poured all of his chakra into the technique, his Sharingan and Rinnegan burning with intensity. Kirin, Sasuke shouted, thrusting his arm forward as the skies above them rumbled. Lightning converged in a storm clouds, drawn by Sasuke's chakra. In a single moment, the massive bolt of lightning descended from the heavens, aimed directly at Naruto. The ground quaked as Kirin roared down from the sky, the force of the strike enough to obliterate mountains. The light from the attack blinded the night, illuminating the forest like the sun. But Naruto didn't move. As Kirin struck, the world exploded into chaos. Thunder boomed, and the ground beneath them was scorched black. But as the dust settled, Sasuke's eyes widened in shock. Naruto stood in the middle of the destruction, unharmed. The dark energy around him had absorbed the lightning, swirling and crackling like a living shield. He looked down at his own hand, almost bored. Kirin, Naruto said, his voice dripping with disappointment. I expected more from you, Sasuke. Sasuke gritted his teeth. This wasn't a battle anymore, it was a massacre. Naruto wasn't even trying. He was toying with him, and that was more terrifying than anything else. If he didn't do something soon, Naruto would wipe out everything. I'll give you credit, Naruto continued, stepping towards Sasuke. You're stronger than most. But you're still stuck in the past, clinging to old ideals and bonds that don't matter anymore. Sasuke's Sharingan spun, desperate to find a weakness, but Naruto's power was overwhelming. There was no weakness, no opening to exploit. Sasuke had only one choice left. He drew on the deepest reserves of his chakra, his Susanoo shimmering with violent energy as it reached its final form. The towering armored warrior loomed over the forest, its massive wings spreading wide. This was Sasuke's ultimate power, his last gamble. Naruto's eyes flickered with mild interest as the Susanoo's blade descended, aiming to cleave him in half. The ground cracked beneath the force of Sasuke's strike, but Naruto didn't move. Instead, he raised one hand, and with a simple gesture, the Susanoo's blade stopped midair. Sasuke's eyes widened in disbelief as the energy of his strongest attack was halted by Naruto's sheer will. Naruto's smirk returned. "Is this all you have left?" With a flick of his wrist, Naruto shattered the Susanoo's blade, sending shards of energy scattering like broken glass. Sasuke felt the feedback surge through him, his vision blurring as his chakra reserves dwindled. Before he could recover, Naruto appeared in front of him, moving faster than even Sasuke's Sharingan could track. He grabbed Sasuke by the throat, lifting him off the ground with ease. "You were always trying to be better than me," Naruto said softly, his voice barely above a whisper. "But now you see. You were never on my level." Sasuke struggled, his body weakened, but he refused to give in. His Rinnegan flared one last time as he attempted to pull Naruto into another dimension, but Naruto's power crushed the attempt with ease. "You're a relic of a dead world, Sasuke," Naruto continued, his grip tightening. "And I'm going to burn that world to the ground." With a final, crushing force, Naruto slammed Sasuke into the ground, the impact creating a massive crater that splintered the earth. Sasuke's body lay limp, blood trickling from his mouth as he struggled to stay conscious. Naruto looked down at his former teammate, his expression devoid of any emotion. "This is the end, Sasuke?" But before he could deliver the final blow, something shifted in the air. A presence, ancient and powerful, filled the clearing. Naruto's eyes narrowed as he felt a ripple of energy, unlike anything he had sensed before. The ground beneath him began to tremble, and a dark, ominous voice echoed through the forest. "You have awakened, child of darkness," the voice boomed, its presence overwhelming. "But you are not yet complete." Naruto's eyes flickered with recognition. This voice, it was the same one that had whispered to him, that had guided him to his power. The darkness that had consumed Naruto began to pulse, swirling around him like a living entity. He could feel it now, the full weight of the power he had tapped into. He wasn't just Naruto anymore. He was something more. Something far greater. Naruto's smirk widened as he looked down at the broken world before him. He would reshape it in his image, and not even Sasuke or any of the remaining forces could stop him now. This was only the beginning. The air grew dense, oppressive, as the ancient voice reverberated through the forest. Naruto's eyes gleamed with anticipation. The darkness that had taken root within him stirred, swirling like Ascension storm. He felt it, the power, the boundless authority coursing through him. But the voice's words echoed ominously in his mind. Asterisk, you are not yet complete. Asterisk. Naruto narrowed his eyes, looking down at the unconscious form of Sasuke, lying broken in the crater he had created. The pathetic remnants of Konoha wouldn't even slow him down, but something about that voice made him pause. Something powerful had called out to him, something older and deeper than even the hatred he now embraced. A riddle of energy washed over the landscape. Naruto turned toward the source, his senses heightened, feeling a shift in the atmosphere. The ground trembled again, but this time it wasn't just the sheer weight of his own power. Something else had arrived. From the shadows of the surrounding forest, figures emerged. First, it was the unmistakable aura of the remaining cage, each one hardened and battle-ready. Gaara stood at the front, his scent swirling protectively around him, while the wreckage crackled with lightning. Tsunade, bloody but determined, stood beside them, her gaze fixed on Naruto. Alongside them, the other ninja of the allied forces, shinobi from all villages, spread out, creating a line of resistance. But Naruto's eyes weren't focused on them. His gaze was drawn to a figure in the back, shrouded in dark, ethereal energy. The presence was overwhelming, ancient, and malevolent. As the figure stepped forward, the forest itself seemed to recoil. The man wore armor as black as night, his skin the color of molten stone. His red eyes glowed like embers in the darkness. The power radiating from him was immense, more suffocating than anything Naruto had felt before. The figure stopped a few paces away, his presence commanding silence across the battlefield. "So this is the child who has inherited my legacy," the figure said, his voice deep and resonant. "Darkseid, the Omega Force has found you worthy?" Naruto's smirk faltered, just for a moment. Darkseid. The name was unfamiliar to him, yet it resonated with a part of him that had been dormant for far too long. The figure raised his hand, and the space around Naruto seemed to distort, as if bending under some unknown cosmic pressure. "You have tasted but a fraction of the power," Darkseid continued, his glowing red eyes locking onto Naruto's. "But you are still incomplete. You are my reincarnation, and yet, you lack the true will of domination." Naruto's grin returned, wider now, tinged with arrogance. "You think you can come here and tell me I'm incomplete?" he sneered. "I've already crushed everything in my path. This world is mine." Darkseid's expression remained impassive. "This world is nothing," he said coldly. "You speak of power, yet you have not even grasped the concept of control. You are but a child playing with matches." Naruto's fists clenched. His pride was beginning to flare up. Who was this being, to challenge him? "I don't care who you think you are," Naruto growled, dark energy spiraling around him. "But no one tells me what I am." With a furious roar, Naruto unleashed his full power. The energy exploded out from him in a wave of malevolence, tearing apart the ground beneath him and shaking the very foundations of the forest. The sky above darkened, and the atmosphere crackled with the sheer force of his chakra. But Darkseid didn't move. He didn't flinch. As Naruto charged at him, Darkseid's red eyes flared with a deadly intensity. He raised his hand, and suddenly, beams of Omega energy shot out from his eyes. They twisted and curved unnaturally, moving through space like they were hunting Naruto, locked onto his very existence. Naruto tried to dodge, but the beams followed him, warping through the air with impossible precision. He felt a searing heat as one of the Omega beams grazed his side, the pain more intense than anything he had ever experienced. It wasn't just physical pain, it felt like his very being was being erased. Naruto growled in fury, summoning all his power to push back the relentless assault. Darkseid watched him struggle, his expression still unreadable. "You lack the discipline to command this power. But I will teach you. Or I will destroy you." Naruto's mind raced. He could feel the weight of Darkseid's power pressing down on him, but he refused to give in. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the strongest untouchable. He couldn't lose. With a snarl, Naruto summoned the full force of the darkness within him. His body glowed with a sinister aura, his eyes blazing with hatred. "You think I'm weak?" he roared. "I'll show you what real power looks like." In an instant, Naruto's form shifted. His body grew darker, almost shadowy, and his energy became more unstable, chaotic. The ground beneath him cracked, and the sky seemed to tear open as his power surged beyond its limits. For the first time, Darkseid's expression shifted. A faint, almost imperceptible smirk crossed his face. "Good," he said softly. "Now you begin to understand." Naruto launched himself at Darkseid again, his movements faster, more violent. The battlefield shook with the force of their clash. The Kagen remaining shinobi watched in awe and horror, powerless to intervene as the two titans battled. Each blow from Naruto carried the weight of worlds, but Darkseid's movements were calm, calculated, like a master testing his apprentice. But despite Naruto's newfound power, Darkseid remained a step ahead, blocking and countering each strike with minimal effort. The Omega energy continued to swirl around them, And every time Naruto thought he had gained the upper hand, Darkseid would unleash a devastating counterattack, sending Naruto crashing back into the ground. Bruised, battered, and exhausted, Naruto struggled to stand. He refused to fall, but he could feel the gap in power now. Darkseid wasn't just strong, he was beyond comprehension, beyond anything Naruto had ever faced. Darkseid approached him slowly, towering over him. "You will either rise to claim your true power," he said, his voice cold and final, "or you will fall like all the others before you. Choose, Naruto." Naruto, breathing heavily, wiped the blood from his mouth and glared up at Darkseid with unyielding defiance. His mind raced. There was only one path forward. He stood, his legs shaky but his resolve firm. The world around him had become nothing but a backdrop to this confrontation. He could feel it now, the truth of what he was, what he could become. He wasn't just Naruto Uzumaki anymore. He was something far more dangerous, far more powerful. He would rise. And when he did, not even Darkseid would stand in his way. "I choose power," Naruto growled, his eyes blazing with dark, cosmic energy. Darkseid's smirk widened, his eyes gleaming with approval. "Then show me," he said. "Show me the true meaning of dominance." The battle wasn't over. In fact, it had only just begun. With a primal roar, Naruto tapped deeper into the well of darkness inside him, feeling the energy surging like a tidal wave. He was no longer merely an extension of the Kyuubi, he was something more, something ancient, something primal. The very essence of Darkseid seemed to resonate within him, empowering him to rise beyond his previous limitations. The air around him crackled with dark energy, twisting and spiraling as Naruto's form blurred, becoming a manifestation of pure wrath. The forest trembled underfoot, and the remaining ninja felt the very fabric of reality shift around him as the battle between these two titans escalated. Naruto could see the awe in the eyes of his former comrades, a mixture of fear and disbelief. This was his chance to assert his dominion over the world, to show them all what he had become. And in that moment, all the doubts that had ever plagued him evaporated into the ether. He surged forward, his speed now a blur as heeding the devastating punch at Darkseid. The impact sent shockwaves rippling through the ground, the force echoing for miles. Darkseid braced himself, and Naruto's fist collided with the Dark God's chest. But this time, it felt different. Naruto felt to shift the actual impact he made against Darkseid's formidable body. The sheer force of the blow resonated within him, not merely dissipating against an impenetrable wall but pushing back against a power that matched his own. Yet, Darkseid remained unfazed. "Impressive," he said, a hint of approval in his tone, "but your rage alone will not be enough." With a flick of his wrist, Darkseid retaliated, countering Naruto's momentum. He launched a barrage of Omega beams, each one curving towards Naruto like serpents, intent on ensnaring their prey. But this time, Naruto was ready. He tapped into his own energy, warping it around him to create a shield of dark energy that absorbed the beams, shattering them into harmless shards of light. "See!" Naruto shouted back, a maniacal grin plastered across his face. "I can control this power." The battlefield lit up as Naruto unleashed a torrent of dark energy, launching it at Darkseid. The blasts rippled through the air, forming a storm of shadows that rained down upon the Dark God. Darkseid's eyes narrowed, and with a quick movement, he deflected the blasts effortlessly, dissipating the energy with a wave of his hand. "Control is not merely about strength, child," Darkseid said, his voice resonating through the chaos. "It's about understanding your own limitations and exploiting the weaknesses of others. You cannot merely throw power around and expect victory." "Shut up!" Naruto snarled, launching himself at Darkseid again, fists blazing with darkness. He swung wildly, a flurry of blows that felt almost frantic. Each strike was filled with fury, but as Darkseid expertly blocked and countered, Naruto felt frustration clawing at him. The Dark God's movements were fluid, almost predatory, as if he were playing with his food. Realizing he needed to adapt, Naruto began to weave his attacks into more complex patterns, using feints to distract Darkseid and aiming for openings. Each punch, each kick, had purpose, but Darkseid seemed to anticipate him at every turn. It was like fighting against the tide. The harder Naruto fought, the more he felt the weight of Darkseid's superiority pressing down. "I can't lose," Naruto gritted out, feeling the energy within him pulse in rhythm with his resolve. Not here, not now. Then it hit him, this wasn't just a battle of strength or speed. This was about dominance, about asserting his will. He could feel the darkness within him resonate with his emotions, and as he embraced the chaos, he began to focus it. Suddenly, he stopped mid-attack, drawing in a deep breath as he steadied himself. The darkness swirled around him, and he felt every bit of pain, every ounce of anger, channeled into one singular focus. I am darkness. I am destruction. He roared, unleashing a wave of energy that radiated outward. This time, the energy felt different, thicker, darker, and more alive. The ground shook as the shadows coalesced around him, taking shape, forming into dark tendrils that snaked out toward Darkseid. With a flick of his hand, Naruto sent the tendrils surging forward, weaving through the air with intent, wrapping around Darkseid in a web of pure energy. The Dark God's expression shifted to one of surprise as the tendrils began to constrict, tightening around him. "You are but a child," Darkseid shouted, his voice booming. But Naruto could feel it, the dark energy was starting to pull at Darkseid's essence, draining him slightly. The dark tendrils wrapped tighter, pushing back against the overpowering force that was the Dark God. "I'm not a child anymore," Naruto bellowed, channeling all of his willpower into the attack. "I am the master of my fate. I will take what's mine." Darkseid growled, the energy surrounding him bending and warping as he fought against Naruto's grip. He pulled at the tendrils, his own dark energy pushing back, but Naruto refused to yield. The very essence of the power he wielded responded to his will, fueled by his hatred and ambition. With a fierce shout, Naruto directed all the energy into one final attack. "Chakra fusion, Dark Genesis," he cried out, unleashing a pulse of energy that riddled through the ground and engulfed Darkseid. The darkness erupted outward in a wave, a torrent of energy that engulfed everything in its path. The allied forces of Konoha stood stunned, watching in awe as the two forces clashed, one born of cosmic malevolence, the other an embodiment of darkness manifesting from Naruto's very soul. Darkseid fought against it, his eyes glowing with intensity. "You think you can control me?" he roared, channeling his own power into a massive blast of Omega energy. The two forces collided in a cataclysmic explosion, shaking the very fabric of the world around him. The forest erupted into chaos, trees splintering and debris flying. The sky darkened even further, threatening to tear apart under the sheer weight of their energies. Naruto felt himself pushed back, struggling to maintain his grip on the dark tendrils as the energy raged around him. But as he was pushed, something deep inside him stirred, a flicker of ancient knowledge that he had yet to fully understand. The Omega Force. Realizing the connection, Naruto focused. He could feel the essence of Darkseid not only as an enemy but as a guide, an entity that had shaped worlds, commanded armies, and wielded power beyond comprehension. In that moment of clarity, he understood. It wasn't just about brute strength, it was about manipulation, strategy, and total dominion over the will of others. He needed to become one with his power, to merge his existence with it. Drawing upon the darkness deeper than he had ever gone, Naruto roared once more, "I am the harbinger of darkness." The energy around him surged, transforming into a black hole of chaotic force. Tendrils lashed out at Darkseid with newfound vigor, constricting tighter as Naruto focused his will. Darkseid's expression shifted from annoyance to concern as he felt the darkness seep into his very being. "No. You cannot. I will not be consumed." But Naruto's will was unyielding. "You will be consumed, Darkseid. Your essence will be mine." The shadows swirled faster, forming a vortex of power that began to envelop Darkseid entirely. The Dark God struggled against it, unleashing every ounce of his energy, but Naruto's tenacity proved overwhelming. The power he had long sought was finally within his grasp, and with a final surge, he pulled Darkseid into the vortex, the dark energy closing around him like a vice. For a moment, Everything paused. The battlefield held its breath, the forest stilling as the dark energy twisted and warped. Then, with a blinding flash, a shockwave erupted outward, consuming everything in its path. The dark tendrils shattered as the energy released in a cataclysmic explosion, sending Naruto crashing to the ground. He lay there, panting, the weight of his actions settling in. He had defeated Darkseid, or had he? The thought lingered in his mind, and as he rose to his feet, he felt the power within him pulsating like a heartbeat. Looking around, the remnants of the battlefield were in ruins. The Allied forces had managed to hold their ground but stood in shock at the devastation. The once vibrant forest was now a wasteland, scorched and blackened by the clash of titans. And as Naruto gazed at the destruction, he realized that he had not just defeated an enemy, he had forged a new identity from the ashes. "I am no longer Naruto Uzumaki," he whispered to himself, his voice low but filled with conviction. "I am the embodiment of darkness. I am Darkseid." And in that moment, he understood the true meaning of power, the responsibility it carried, the consequences of wielding it. He turned to face the remnants of his comrades, their faces a mix of fear and awe. They would never accept him now. He had crossed a line, embraced a darkness within him, and there was no going back. But he didn't care. He had awakened something far beyond his former self, and he was ready to claim his dominion over the world. "Let them come," he said, a wicked grin stretching across his face. "I will reshape this world in my image. The era of the shinobi is over. Welcome to the age of darkness." As the last remnants of the explosion settled, Naruto's eyes glowed ominously, the power surging within him like a dark storm. He stepped forward, ready to embrace the chaos that lay ahead, intent on conquering not just a Hidden Leaf village but the entire world. And he would do it as the new Darkseid, a god among mortals. The aftermath of the clash resonated in the air, heavy with the scent of burned earth and scorched trees. The surviving shinobi stood frozen in place, disbelief etched into their expressions. They had witnessed Naruto, their once innocent friend, transform into a force of unimaginable darkness. Their hearts raced, and the realization began to dawn upon them: this was no longer the boy they had grown up with. This was something far more sinister. As Naruto stepped forward, a dark energy crackling around him like a living entity, he scanned the faces of his former comrades. The fear radiating from them was intoxicating, and he relished the power it gave him. They were weak, he had outgrown them. And now, he was prepared to seize control of his destiny, free from the shackles, the friendship and loyalty that had once defined him. "You," Tsunade's voice trembled as she stepped forward, her hands balled into fists. "What have you done, Naruto? This isn't you. Isn't it?" he replied, a dark smile curling on his lips. "I've finally embraced what I truly am. No more pretending to be a hero. I am Darkseid, and this world will bend to my will." He felt the weight of their gazes: shock, fear, anger, but more than that, he felt the tug of power at his fingertips. The darkness within him was alive, whispering promises of domination and absolute authority. He could feel the remnants of his former self fighting to resurface, but he pushed those thoughts aside, determined to move forward. "Step back," he commanded, his voice deep and resonant, echoing across the battlefield. The air crackled as he exuded a force that was palpable, a warning wrapped in menace. "I am no longer one of you. You're all just obstacles in my way." As silence fell over the group, broken only by the distant crackle of dying energy in the air. They were at a crossroads, and as Naruto's dark power surged around him, it became clear that they were no longer fighting the boy they knew but rather the embodiment of chaos itself. "Why, can't you see?" Naruto continued, his voice steady. "This world is weak. You've clung to your ideals for too long, and look where that has led us. A broken village, war, and despair. I will reshape it all." With a flick of his wrist, he conjured a swirling vortex of dark energy, drawing in the remnants of the shattered battlefield. The ground beneath them began to tremble, fissures appearing as the darkness threatened to consume everything in its path. "Stop this, Naruto," shouted Gaara, stepping forward, his voice filled with desperation. You don't have to do this. We can still save you. Save me. Naruto echoed, his laughter dark and cold. You don't even understand. There's nothing to save. This is freedom. This is power. I will be the one to break the cycle of suffering. Tsunade clenched her fists, a look of determination crossing her face. If you're so sure of that, then you'll have to face us. We won't let you destroy everything we've fought for. Naruto narrowed his eyes, feeling their resolve. It only fueled the darkness inside him. Foolishness, he hissed, summoning more energy to his form. You think you can stop me? I'll show you just how weak you truly are. With a sweeping motion, he unleashed a torrent of dark energy toward them, the blast filled with raw chaos and destruction. The shinobi barely had time to react, their instincts kicking in as they moved to defend themselves. Tsunade activated her Bikug, a shield of chakra forming around her as she braced for impact. Garz summoned his sand, the grain swirling to create a barrier against the incoming storm of darkness. But the sheer force of Naruto's attack overwhelmed their defenses, slamming into them with a ferocious explosion. The blast sent them sprawling, the air thick with dust and debris. Naruto felt a rush of exhilaration as he surveyed the destruction, feeling invincible. He was the storm that had finally broken the dam, and now he would wash away the remnants of the old world. Is this the best you can do? He taunted, stepping forward through the haze. Pathetic. But just as he prepared to unleash another wave of energy, he felt a sudden shift in the atmosphere. The ground trembled beneath him again, but this time it was different. He sensed a surge of chakra approaching, powerful and ancient. It sent a chill down his spine, and for the first time, doubt crept into his mind. What is this? He muttered, looking around for the source. The air crackled with tension as a figure emerged from the shadows, surrounded by a radiant light. Kakashi stepped forward, his expression somber yet resolute. Naruto, he said, his voice steady. We're not here to fight you, but we will do what we must to stop you. Naruto felt anger boiling within him. You think you can stop me? He spat, his voice dripping with disdain. You're nothing but remnants of a bygone era. I have evolved beyond you. Kakashi shook his head, his Sharingan activated, focused, and determined. It's not too late to turn back, Naruto. You don't have to walk this path alone. For a fleeting moment, Naruto's resolve wavered. He could feel the remnants of his humanity pushing against the overwhelming darkness, but he quickly quashed it. I don't need you, he shouted, his voice breaking as he channeled more energy. I'll show you the true meaning of power. With a scream, he unleashed another torrent of dark energy, but Kakashi was ready. He called upon a full strength of the Sharingan, weaving through the chaos, and a barrier of light formed in front of him, absorbing the dark blast. The clash created a shockwave, throwing debris in every direction. Tsunade and Garz quickly regained their footing, joining Kakashi as they prepared to face Naruto together. They were a united front, but they all knew that the Naruto they faced now was far more formidable than the one they had known. Stop this madness! Tsunade yelled, anger and pain in her voice. You're stronger than this. You can come back to us. Naruto's heart twisted momentarily. He could feel the echoes of his past life, the warmth of friendship, the bonds he had forged. But the darkness clawed at him, reminding him of the pain, the betrayal, and the loneliness. It drowned out their pleas, wrapping around him like a suffocating shroud. I don't want to go back, he screamed, his voice filled with rage. This is who I am now. The ground beneath them began to crack, and the darkness swirled around him like a storm, seeking to consume all. Naruto raised his hands, channeling every ounce of energy into a massive blast that would obliterate everything in its path. But before he could unleash it, Kakashi stepped forward, activating the full potential of his Sharingan. No. We won't let you do this, he shouted, his voice firm. We will protect our home, even if it means fighting against you. The tension hung thick in the air as the three shinobi prepared to face Naruto. Their hearts raced, and they could feel the weight of their decisions looming over them. The fate of the world balanced precariously on this moment. But Naruto didn't flinch. "Then come," he roared, a wicked grin stretching across his face. "Let's see just how strong you really are." With a roar, he unleashed the dark entity, a swirling vortex of chaos aimed directly at his former comrades. The world erupted around them as the forces of darkness clashed with the unwavering resolve of the shinobi. They fought back fiercely, a testament to their bonds and their determination. They would not let Naruto fall into darkness, they would save him, no matter the cost. But as the battle raged on, a single thought echoed through Naruto's mind: he was Darkseid now, and he would not be stopped. The clash of ideals would resonate across the land, a struggle between the bonds of friendship and the intoxicating allure of power. And in the heart of this storm, one thing remained clear: Naruto had embraced his fate, and now, there would be no turning back. He was destined to reshape the world in his image, and anyone who stood in his way would be swept away in a tide of darkness. As the first echoes of their final battle rang out, the world watched with bated breath, unaware of the storm that was about to descend upon them. The battlefield trembled as Naruto unleashed his dark energy, a swirling maelstrom of chaos that threatened to consume everything in its path. The shadows danced violently around him, reflecting the tumult within his soul. The ground beneath them cracked and split, fissures spreading like veins as the energy surged forth. "Now, feel my wrath," Naruto shouted, his voice a blend of fury and exhilaration. The dark vortex spiraled outwards, threatening to engulf everything. But Kakashi, Tsunade, and Gaara stood resolute, their determination burning brightly amidst the encroaching shadows. They felt the weight of the situation bearing down on them, but their resolve would not falter. Together, they were a formidable force, and they would fight to protect the bonds they once shared. Together, Kakashi yelled, his voice cutting through the chaos. He activated his Kamui, creating a barrier of space-time that would absorb and redirect the oncoming storm. The air crackled as the energy collided with the barrier, pushing against it fiercely. "Sand Coffin," Gaara shouted, summoning his Sen to reinforce their defenses. The grain spiraled around them, forming a protective cocoon against Naruto's relentless assault. The Sen flowed like liquid, adapting to the shifting energy around them. Tsunade, her fists glowing with chakra, stepped forward, ready to lend her strength. "We won't let you destroy everything we've built, Naruto," she proclaimed, her voice fierce. "You can't just throw away your life like this." The energy crashed against their defenses, the shockwave rippling through the air. The sheer force threatened to break their resolve, but they held strong, focused on Naruto's flickering image within the storm. "Why won't you just understand?" Naruto growled, frustration pouring from him like a tide. "I'm freeing myself from the chains of this weak world. I am becoming something greater." The swirling darkness pulsated around him, feeding off his anger and despair. It was intoxicating, urging him to push harder, to embrace the chaos fully. The world he had known, with its friendships and bonds, felt so distant, like a shadow of a memory he was eager to forget. "No," Kakashi shouted, channeling all of his chakra into the barrier, desperately pushing back against the tide. "You're wrong, Naruto. This is not the way. Power without purpose will only lead to destruction." "Shut up," Naruto roared, his eyes glowing ominously. He gathered the dark energy into a single, massive sphere above his head, the shadows swirling violently. It pulsated with raw power, threatening to unleash chaos beyond imagination. "I'll show you the true nature of power," he shouted, flinging the sphere towards them. The energy shot through the air like a comet, trailing darkness in its wake, aimed directly at his friends. Tsunade, Gaara, and Kakashi braced themselves, but they refused to back down. "Now," Tsunade shouted, and with a united front, they unleashed their defenses. The Kamui resonated with the sand, amplifying their combined strength. "Desert Storm," Gaara yelled, the grain spiraling upwards to meet Naruto's attack. As the dark sphere collided with their defenses, the impact sent shockwaves rippling through the battlefield. The explosion illuminated the sky, a blinding flash of light followed by an overwhelming force that sent them all flying backward. Tsunade hit the ground hard, the wind knocked from her lungs. She struggled to regain her footing, gasping for breath as the dust settled. Get up. We can't lose him, she urged, her voice strained. Gaara rolled to his feet, his eyes scanning the chaos. We need to sever him from that power. It's consuming him, Kakashi nodded, his mind racing as he formulated a plan. If we can distract him long enough, we might be able to reach the Naruto we know deep inside. But as they regrouped, they felt the weight of the darkness looming above them. Naruto emerged from the haze, energy crackling around him, his eyes glowing with an unsettling intensity. The very air around him felt heavier, as if the shadows themselves were alive, responding to his will. You think you can save me? Naruto taunted, a dark smile on his face. You're wasting your time. I am beyond redemption. This is the power I've always craved, He raised his hands, the shadows swirling, and summoned tendrils of darkness that lashed out towards them. The air filled with the sound of tearing fabric as the shadows sought to ensnare them, a manifestation of his unyielding will. Kakashi acted first, moving with agility to evade the tendrils while redirecting their energy with Kamui. We won't give up on you, Naruto, he shouted, determination echoing in his voice. We're going to reach you? Tsunade lunged forward, her fists radiating with chakra as sheeting for Naruto. We're your family. You have to remember that, she cried, channeling her power into a massive punch aimed directly at him. Naruto dodged, the shadows enveloping him, and he countered with a lash of dark energy that sent Tsunade sprawling. Family, he sneered. Family is weakness. Look where it's gotten you. I'll show you the strength that comes with solitude, Gaara stepped in, using his sen to create a protective barrier around his friends. You're wrong, Naruto. Family gives us strength. We fight for each other, he yelled, directing the sen to launch toward Naruto as a distraction. As the grain swirled and enveloped him, Naruto felt a flicker of annoyance. Enough, he roared, pushing back against the attack with a pulse of dark energy that shattered Gaara's defenses. The battle continued to rage, a clash of ideals and powers. Each attack seemed to push Naruto further into the depths of darkness, yet with each encounter, the flickers of his past life danced at the edges of his consciousness. Remember the bond we shared, Tsunade shouted amidst the chaos. Remember your dreams. Your desire to protect, For a brief moment, Naruto faltered, the memories washing over him like a wave. His friends' faces flashed in his mind, the laughter, the struggles, the bonds that had once defined him. But the shadows inside him fought fiercely against it, urging him to dismiss the memories, to forget the warmth they had provided. No, he screamed, shaking his head violently. I don't need that. I don't need you, But as the tendrils of darkness surged around him, he felt their pull weaken. A glimmer of doubt crept into his heart, battling against the overwhelming tide of darkness. This is who I am now, he insisted, his voice cracking under the strain of his conflicting emotions. The shadows coiled tighter around him, seeking to drown out the voices of his friends, but they remained steadfast, determined to reach him. We won't abandon you, Naruto, Kakashi yelled, his voice echoing in a tumult. You are stronger than this darkness. You can overcome it, Fight it, Gaara urged, his voice a lifeline in the chaos. You are not just Darkseid, you are Naruto. The one who brings hope, The struggle within Naruto intensified, and for the first time, he felt the weight of their words. Memories flooded in a younger Naruto, training with friends, laughing, dreaming of becoming Hokage. Those moments felt distant but achingly familiar. He began, his voice faltering. The shadows around him flickered, wavering under the weight of his internal battle. He felt something shifting, a break in the dam that held back his emotions. I am not just darkness, he shouted, a mixture of rage and determination spilling forth. I am Naruto Uzumaki? The shadows recoiled as if stung, and for a brief moment, the dark energy surrounding him dimmed. The flicker of light in his heart flared brighter, pushing back against the overwhelming force of darkness. I am not just a vessel for power, he declared, the struggle intensifying as he fought against the darkness within. I have friends. I have a purpose. With a roar, Naruto channeled his energy into a beam of light, cutting through the darkness that had enveloped him. The shadows writhed, screaming in defiance, but Naruto was resolute. I will not be defined by you. The beam exploded forth, colliding with the tendrils of darkness, illuminating the battlefield in a blinding light. The shockwave pushed everyone back, and for a moment, the world stood still as Naruto reclaimed his identity amidst the chaos. The dark energy receded, shrieking as it was forced back into the depths of his being. But even as it dwindled, Naruto felt the remnants of Darkseid lingering within him, an ever-present reminder of the power he had touched. Breathless and trembling, he lowered his hands, the light fading as he stared at his friends. I can't lose myself to that darkness. Tsunade, Gaara, and Kakashi slowly rose to their feet, cautiously approaching him, their expressions the mixture of relief and caution. They had witnessed a flicker of the Naruto they knew, and yet they were aware that the shadows still lurked within. You fought it, Kakashi said softly, his voice steady. But it's not gone. You need to remain vigilant. We're here for you, Tsunade added, her tone filled with warmth. We'll help you keep it at bay. You're not alone, Naruto. The weight of their words sank in, and as Naruto looked into their eyes, he felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps he could reclaim his identity without entirely succumbing to the darkness within him. But the path ahead would not be easy. He would have to face the remnants of Darkseid again and again. I will fight, Naruto vowed, determination flooding through him. I will find a way to use this power to protect the people I care about. I won't let it control me. As the dust settled, the remnants of the battlefield bore witness to a pivotal moment. The clash of ideals had transformed not just Naruto but the very fabric of their world. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was always a flicker of light, an ember of hope that refused to be extinguished. But beneath the surface, the darkness stirred, waiting for the moment to rise again. Naruto had fought back today, but the struggle was far from over. He would need every ounce of strength he could muster to navigate the duality of his existence between the shadows and the light. Let's go, he said, determination shining in his eyes. I will find a way to make this world better, even if it means wielding this darkness. And as they walked together into the uncertain future, Naruto knew one thing for certain. He was ready to embrace both sides of himself, forging a new path that would redefine the meaning of strength and purpose. The world was changing, and he would be at the center of that storm, wielding power with a newfound resolve. This is just the beginning, he murmured to himself, a wicked grin returning to his lips. Let the world bear witness to my rise as the true Darkseid. The winds howled around them, a harbinger of the trials yet to come. But together, they would face the darkness, prepared to challenge the very essence of what it meant to be a shinobi in a world teetering on the brink of chaos. And as Naruto stepped into the fray, he felt the darkness within him pulse with anticipation, waiting for the next opportunity to assert its will. But now, he was ready, a god among mortals, prepared to reshape the world in his image. As Naruto and his friends forged ahead, the atmosphere was thick with tension, an unspoken understanding that they were entering uncharted territory. The remnants of the battlefield lingered behind them like a haunting memory, a reminder of the struggle they had just faced. But now, they had a new goal, to find a way to harness the darkness within Naruto while protecting the bonds that tethered him to his past. We need to regroup, Kakashi said, his voice calm yet filled with urgency. The village will want to know what happened here. They need to understand that Naruto is still with us. And what about the darkness? Gaara interjected, his brow furrowed. It's still there. We can't just ignore it. Naruto felt the weight of their gazes, the concern etched on their faces. The shadows within him were ever present, a constant reminder of the power he had embraced. But with each step, he felt more in control, more aware of the balance he needed to strike. I'll find a way to manage it, he promised, though a flicker of doubt danced in his mind. Asterisk, I won't let it consume me. I'm still me, right? Asterisk. You're still Naruto, Tsunade reassured him, her hand resting on his shoulder. Asterisk, but this is a part of you now. You need to learn to wield it, not just fight against it. Asterisk. We'll help you, Kakashi added. Asterisk, you're not alone in this fight. We've faced darkness before, and we'll face it again. Together. Asterisk. With that, they made their way back to the Hidden Leaf Village, the sun setting behind them, casting long shadows across the ground. The atmosphere in the village was tense, the residents whispering anxiously about the recent upheaval. News of Naruto's transformation had spread like wildfire, and as they entered, the air was thick with uncertainty. Naruto, Shikamaru shouted, rushing forward, his brow creased with worry. Asterisk, what happened out there? Are you okay? Asterisk. I'm fine, Naruto replied, though he knew the truth was far more complex. Asterisk, I'm different now. But I'm still here. Asterisk. Shikamaru eyed him warily, sensing the change in Naruto's demeanor. Different how? He's embraced a new power, Kakashi explained, stepping forward. Asterisk, but we're working on finding a way to control it. We can't let it spiral out of control. Asterisk. The villagers murmured, a mix of fear and curiosity washing over them. They had seen Naruto as their hero, the boy who had brought hope and strength to their lives. But now, the specter of darkness loomed large, casting doubt over everything he had accomplished. You all don't need to worry, Naruto said, his voice steady but tinged with a hint of darkness. Asterisk, I'm still the same person you've always known. I just have more power now. Power to protect all of you. Asterisk. Power that can easily corrupt, Shikamaru replied, his gaze sharp. Asterisk, you need to be careful, Naruto. This isn't just about you anymore. Asterisk. As they made their way through the village, the residents watched with a mix of apprehension and curiosity. The air was thick with uncertainty, but Naruto felt something stir within him, a desire to prove that he was still worthy of their trust. I'll show them, he thought, a wicked grin forming on his lips. I'll show everyone just how strong I've become. Later that evening, Naruto gathered with his friends in a secluded clearing, away from prying eyes. The moon hung high in the sky, casting an ethereal glow on the world around them. It felt like the calm before the storm, and the tension in the air was palpable. We need to train, Naruto declared, a sense of urgency coursing through him. I want to learn how to control this darkness. Tsunade exchanged glances with Kakashi and Gaara before nodding. Asterisk, we can help you with that. We'll train together, and we'll make sure you're prepared for whatever lies ahead. Asterisk. But it won't be easy, Kakashi warned. Asterisk, this darkness isn't something you can just turn off. You'll need to embrace it, understand it, and learn how to use it without losing yourself. Asterisk. I can handle it, Naruto replied, determination burning in his chest. Asterisk, I won't let it consume me. I refuse to become a puppet for this darkness. Asterisk. The group began their training, a blend of physical and mental exercises aimed at helping Naruto harness the darkness within. They explored techniques that would allow him to wield his newfound powers without succumbing to the chaos that threatened to overwhelm him. Days turned into weeks, and the training became more intense. Naruto felt the darkness within him pulsating, a constant reminder of its presence. He struggled to balance the overwhelming power with his desire to protect his friends, often finding himself caught between two worlds. Focus, Tsunade instructed during one of their sessions. Asterisk, channel the darkness, but don't let it control you. Remember your purpose. Asterisk. I'm trying, he grunted, sweat beading on his forehead as he pushed against a wall of darkness. Asterisk, but it's like a tidal wave. It wants to drown me. Asterisk. You have to learn to ride that wave, Kakashi advised, his tone calm and steady. Embrace it, but don't let it define you. As Naruto trained, he began to notice subtle changes. The darkness responded to his emotions, ebbing and flowing with his will. It was a constant battle, a war within himself, but he felt a flicker of hope as he learned to channel the entity, molding it into something more. One night, after a particularly grueling training session, Naruto sat alone beneath the stars, contemplating his journey. The shadows danced around him, flickering in the moonlight. He felt the pull of darkness, the temptation to embrace it fully and let it guide him. But the memories of his friends, their laughter, their bonds kept him grounded. "I won't lose myself," he murmured to the night, determination hardening in his chest. "I'll find a way to control you without giving in." As he stared up at the stars, he felt a flicker of something more, a connection to the universe around him. The darkness was not just a void, it was a force, and if he could learn to harness it, he could reshape the world for the better. But just as he began to feel a sense of clarity, a dark presence crept into his thoughts. It whispered promises of power, of a world reshaped under his rule. It beckoned him to give in, to embrace the chaos and become something greater. "No," he shouted into the void, clenching his fists. "I won't be your pawn." In that moment, he felt a surge of energy, a wave of darkness washing over him. But instead of succumbing, he channeled it, transforming it into a burst of light that illuminated the night. It was a testament to his struggle, a declaration of his intent to wield the darkness without becoming a slave to it. "I will find a way," he vowed, the flicker of hope in his heart igniting into a blaze. "I will protect my friends and show the world that even in darkness, there is light." The days passed, and Naruto continued to grow stronger. He learned to blend his old techniques with the darkness, creating new forms of jutsu that reflected his duality. The villagers began to notice the changes in him, their apprehension slowly shifting to admiration. "Look at him," a villager whispered, watching as Naruto demonstrated a new technique. "He's become so powerful. He's like a force of nature." "But can we trust him?" another replied, concern still etched in their features. Despite their doubts, Naruto remained steadfast. He dedicated himself to honing his skills, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. But with each passing day, he felt the darkness within him waiting, stirring with impatience, as if it sought to remind him of its presence. One evening, during a particularly intense training session, Naruto found himself alone again, the shadows creeping closer. He felt the darkness calling, whispering promises of greatness. He closed his eyes, breathing deeply, trying to find balance. "You are powerful," the darkness murmured. Why fight against it? You could have everything you desire: power, control, respect. Just give in. "I don't need power to be respected," he snapped, frustration boiling over. "I have my friends. I'll earn their respect by fighting for them, not against them." But the darkness pressed on, relentless. "You think they care? They are only waiting for you to fall. Embrace your true self. Embrace Darkseid." "I am not Darkseid," he roared, energy crackling around him. The shadows recoiled, but he felt their presence intensify, as if they were testing his resolve. "I am Naruto Uzumaki, and I will not be your puppet." With a surge of will, he unleashed a wave of energy, pushing back against the darkness. It fought him, thrashing violently, but Naruto refused to relent. He had faced worse. He had faced loneliness, rejection, and despair. This was just another battle. "I'll show you who I am," he declared, a fierce light igniting within him. "I'll prove that I can wield both the light and the dark." As he focused his energy, he felt a connection to the very fabric of the universe. The darkness was not his enemy, it was a part of him, a force to be harnessed. He channeled that energy, creating a powerful surge that illuminated the night. And then, in that moment of clarity, he understood. The darkness did not have to defy him, it could be a tool, a weapon to protect those he loved. "This is just the beginning," he whispered, a newfound determination coursing through his veins. "I will learn to control you. I will not be afraid." With each passing day, Naruto honed his abilities, the duality within him becoming a source of strength. He faced challenges from within and outside, each encounter shaping him into a formidable force. But as he grew stronger, whispers of his power spread throughout the ninja world, attracting attention from those who sought to exploit it. Shadows began to stir, dark forces sensing the rising tide of power that Naruto wielded. "We need to be vigilant," Kakashi warned one evening as they gathered to discuss their progress. There are those who will come after you, Naruto. They'll see your power as a threat. Let them come, Naruto replied, a confident smirk on his face. I'm ready for them. They won't stand a chance against me. But deep down, he felt the pull of darkness, a constant reminder that he needed to remain vigilant. The struggle between light and dark was not over, it was just beginning. And as he looked at his friends, he knew they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would navigate the storm, fighting for a future that blended both hope and power. With a final glance at the night sky, Naruto made a silent promise. He would not just be a weapon of darkness, he would be a beacon of hope, a force to be reckoned with, and above all, a guardian of his friends. This world will know my name, he vowed softly. And they will understand the true meaning of strength. As Naruto continued his training, he could feel the weight of his duality pressing down on him. The darkness within him was no longer a mere whisper, it had become a constant companion, a coiled serpent waiting to strike. He had learned to wield it, but he was always acutely aware of the light he walked. The Hidden Leaf village was bustling with activity as the day of the Chunin exams approached. It had been years since the last tournament, and excitement filled the air. Naruto saw it as an opportunity not just to prove his strength but to demonstrate his control over the darkness that had become a part of him. I can't wait for the Chunin exams, Sakura exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. It'll be a great chance for everyone to show how much they've improved. Right, especially after what happened during the last exam, Sasuke added, his tone subdued but focused. The memory of the attack during the previous exams still haunted him, the pain of loss lingering like an old wound. Yeah, and this time, I'm going to show everyone what I'm capable of, Naruto declared, a fire igniting in his chest. I've been training hard, and I'm ready to prove it. Sakura and Sasuke exchanged glances, a mix of pride and concern flashing across their faces. They knew how much the exams meant to him, but they also understood the darkness he now carried. Just remember, Naruto, Sasuke warned, his gaze serious. Don't let the power go to your head. Control it, don't let it control you. Naruto nodded, his expression resolute. I will. I promise. He felt the weight of their trust pressing on him, an unyielding reminder of the responsibility he bore. As the days passed, the village buzzed with preparations. The day of the exams arrived, the air thick with anticipation. Spectators gathered, eager to witness the spectacle, while ninja from various villages arrived to showcase their skills. The arena was massive, a coliseum filled with spectators from all walks of life. As Naruto stepped into the ring, he felt the eyes of the crowd upon him, a wave of energy pulsing through his veins. The roar of the audience was intoxicating, igniting a fire within him that he had never experienced before. This is it, he thought, a wicked smile creeping onto his face. Time to show them what I'm made of. The first round of battles began, and Naruto watched intently as his comrades faced off against their opponents. Each match was a test of skill, strategy, and determination. He felt the excitement building within him, a hunger for battle that urged him forward. When it was finally his turn, he stepped into the arena, the air crackling with energy. Across from him stood a formidable opponent from the Sand Village, his expression serious and focused. Naruto could sense the tension in the air, the anticipation of the crowd growing. You'll regret underestimating me, Naruto taunted, a flicker of darkness dancing in his eyes. I won't hold back. The match began, and Naruto wasted no time, charging at his opponent with incredible speed. He unleashed a flurry of punches and kicks, his movements fluid and powerful. The darkness surged within him, enhancing his strength and agility, but he remained in control, using it as a tool rather than a crutch. His opponent retaliated, launching a series of jutsu that created a whirlwind of sand. But Naruto was ready. He channeled the darkness, manipulating it into a barrier that absorbed the impact. The crowd gasped in awe, witnessing the raw power he possessed. "Impressive," the sand ninja said, his voice steady despite a surprise in his eyes. "But can you handle this?" With a swift motion, the ninja summoned a massive sandstorm, the winds howling as grains of sand whipped through the arena. Naruto felt the pressure building around him, but instead of panicking, he embraced it. "Let's see how you handle this," he shouted, channeling the darkness to amplify his voice, sending shockwaves through the arena. He gathered his energy, forming it into a concentrated sphere of dark chakra. "Dark sphere," he yelled, launching the attack toward the sandstorm. The two forces collided, and the resulting explosion sent shockwaves through the arena, scattering debris and sand into the air. When the dust settled, the crowd erupted into cheers, onwashing over them as they witnessed Naruto standing tall, the darkness swirling around him like a storm. He could feel their admiration, but there was also an undercurrent of fear. They were beginning to understand the true extent of his power. "You're strong," his opponent admitted, panting heavily. "But I won't give up that easily." The match continued, each attack becoming more intense, more desperate. Naruto found himself in a rhythm, the darkness guiding his movements, making him unpredictable. He could feel the exhilaration of battle coursing through him, a thrilling reminder of why he had fought so hard to embrace his power. With a final surge of energy, he unleashed a powerful technique that combined his strength and the darkness within him. "Shadow Raise Nan," he shouted, a swirling mass of dark energy forming in his hand. He charged at his opponent, the sphere glowing ominously. "No. I won't lose to you," the sand ninja yelled, trying to counter with a jutsu of his own. But it was too late. Naruto collided with him, the force of the attack sending them both sprawling. The crowd fell silent for a moment before erupting into thunderous applause. Naruto rose, panting but victorious, a wicked grin stretching across his face. "This is just the beginning," he declared, looking out at the crowd. "I'm going to show all of you what true power looks like." As the tournament progressed, Naruto faced formidable opponents, each battle pushing him further and further into the depths of his darkness. He reveled in a challenge, the thrill of battle igniting a fire within him. Each victory fueled his desire for more, but with each step deeper into power, he felt the darkness lurking closer. During a break in the tournament, Naruto gathered with his friends, a mixture of excitement and concern on their faces. "You did great, Naruto," Sakura cheered, her eyes shining with pride. "But be careful," Sasuke warned, his tone serious. "I can see how much you're enjoying this. Don't lose sight of who you are, "I won't," Naruto replied, though a part of him reveled in the chaos he was creating. "I'm just showing everyone that I can control this power." But in the shadows, unseen by his friends, a dark figure watched, a smirk playing on his lips. Orochimaru had returned, drawn by the stirrings of power emanating from Naruto. "Interesting," he whispered to himself, his eyes gleaming with malice. "A vessel so powerful. I must have him." With the Chunin exams reaching their climax, the final battles approached. Naruto was determined to win, to prove not just to himself but to everyone that he was capable of wielding the darkness without succumbing to it. As the final matches commenced, he found himself facing off against a ninja from the Sound Village, a skilled opponent with a reputation for using dark jutsu. The air crackled with tension as they squared off, the crowd eagerly awaiting the showdown. "You think you can control the darkness?" the Sound Ninja taunted, a smirk on his face. "You'll find that it has a mind of its own." "We'll see about that," Naruto replied, his voice steady. "I'm not afraid of you or your darkness." The battle began, and Naruto unleashed a barrage of attacks, channeling the darkness into his movements. He felt the power surging within him, the thrill of battle consuming him. But as the fight wore on, he sensed the darkness pushing back, urging him to embrace it fully. "Let go, Naruto," the Sound Ninja taunted, using his own dark techniques to counter. Embrace the chaos. Only then will you truly be free, But Naruto shook his head, focusing on his resolve. "I won't let you win," he shouted, summoning the energy within him. The darkness surged, but he remained in control, channeling it into a massive wave of energy that threatened to overwhelm his opponent. "Dark wave," he yelled, releasing the attack with a roar. The two forces clashed, the explosion echoing through the arena as the crowd gasped in awe. But as the smoke cleared, Naruto found himself standing tall, victorious once again. "I won," he exclaimed, breathing heavily, a triumphant grin on his face. But deep down, he could feel the darkness whispering, urging him to unleash even more. As the tournament came to a close, Naruto stood on the podium, surrounded by his friends and the cheers of the crowd. He had proven himself, but the taste of victory was bittersweet. The darkness was still there, lurking just beneath the surface, a reminder of the battle he would continue to face. "This is only the beginning," he thought, determination burning within him. "I will learn to control you, and together, we will reshape this world." But as he stood there, basking in the glory of his victory, a dark presence watched from the shadows, plotting its next move. Orochimaru had set his sights on Naruto, and soon, the true test of his power would begin. As the festivities died down and the villagers celebrated, Naruto felt a chill in the air, a premonition of the challenges that lay ahead. The darkness was a part of him, but he would not let it define him. He would face whatever came his way, ready to embrace both the light and the dark, forging his own path in a world that was rapidly changing. With a final glance at his friends, he smiled, feeling the warmth of their support. Together, he thought, we can face anything, and as he stepped down from the podium, he knew that the true battle for his soul was just beginning. As the festivities settled into the night, Naruto's mind raced with the events of the Chunin exams. He had demonstrated his strength, but beneath the surface, the darkness remained a gnawing presence. Each battle had drawn him closer to that abyss, a reminder of the power he could wield if he let go of his restraints. The cheers of the crowd faded as he stepped away from the arena, the exhilaration of victory still coursing through him. He wanted to celebrate, to bask in the praise of his friends, but something felt off. "Naruto," Sakura called, running to catch up with him, her face flushed with excitement. "You were amazing out there. I can't believe how strong you've become. "Thanks, Sakura," he replied, forcing a smile. "It was just a warm-up." Sasuke joined them, his brow furrowed. "What's wrong? You don't look as happy as you should be." "Just thinking," Naruto said, waving his hand dismissively. "I can't shake the feeling that something's coming." "You're probably just feeling the after effects of the tournament," Sasuke suggested. "You pushed yourself hard today." "No, it's more than that," Naruto insisted, the shadows in his mind whispering louder. "It's like there's something lurking, waiting to strike." "We'll face it together," Sakura assured him, her eyes filled with determination. "Whatever it is, we can handle it." "Yeah," Naruto replied, feeling a flicker of warmth at her words. But deep down, he knew this was more than just a challenge. The darkness within him had grown restless, and it hungered for release. As they walked back to their homes, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The air felt charged, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Shadows danced at the edges of his vision, reminding him of the darkness he had embraced. That night, as he lay in bed, sleep evaded him. The room was silent, yet his mind was a storm of thoughts. He closed his eyes, willing himself to relax, but the moment he drifted off, nightmares invaded his dreams, visions of destruction, chaos, and the faces of those he cared about twisted in fear. "Wake up," a voice echoed through his mind. "You must embrace your true potential." He jolted awake, the darkness swirling around him like a tempest. It felt alive, pulsating with energy. Instinctively, he sat up, summoning his chakra to quell the rising tide. "What do you want from me?" he shouted into the void, his heart pounding. "You know what you must do," the voice whispered, seductive and dark. Embrace the chaos. Show them the true extent of your power. "No," Naruto shouted, shaking his head violently. "I won't let you control me." "Control?" it laughed, the sound echoing through his mind. Asterisk, you've always been a puppet. Let me cut your strings. Asterisk. He could feel the darkness clawing at his consciousness, trying to break free, but he resisted. Asterisk, I'm stronger than that. I'm not just a vessel for your power. Asterisk, he focused on his breathing, grounding himself as he pushed back against the tide. Very well, the voice said, a note of irritation creeping into its tone. Asterisk, but remember, your strength lies in the darkness. You cannot ignore me forever. Asterisk. With that, the presence receded, leaving Naruto panting in the darkness of his room. He took a moment to collect himself, feeling the sweat on his brow. The encounter had rattled him, but he couldn't let it control his thoughts. He had come too far. As dawn broke, he made his way to the training grounds, determined to push himself further. The sun cast a warm glow over the village, yet the shadows still lingered in his mind. He needed to train harder, to learn to control the darkness, to make it a part of him rather than a force that sought to consume him. If I'm going to face whatever's coming, he thought, I need to be ready. He began his training regimen, drawing upon every technique he had learned. With each punch and kick, he channeled his energy, focusing on harnessing the darkness within. I will not be afraid, he muttered, sweat dripping down his brow. I will wield this power. Hours passed as he trained, lost in the rhythm of his movements. He pushed himself harder, tapping into the dark energy that coursed through him, feeling it enhance his strength and speed. But he also felt the danger lurking beneath the surface, the seductive whispers beckoning him to surrender. Enough, he shouted, collapsing to his knees. I won't be a slave to this darkness. You're fighting a losing battle, the voice murmured, echoing in his mind. Asterisk, you are destined for greatness. Embrace it, and you will be unstoppable. Asterisk. With a growl of frustration, Naruto stood, determined not to let the darkness control him. I'll prove you wrong, he declared, his voice firm. As the days turned into weeks, Naruto's power continued to grow. He faced opponents during training, each match pushing him to new limits. His friends remained by his side, their unwavering support giving him strength, but he kept the darkness a secret. He didn't want them to worry or see the struggle within him. One evening, as they gathered around a fire to celebrate another successful training day, Naruto felt a flicker of warmth in their camaraderie. He glanced at Sakura and Sasuke, feeling a surge of gratitude. Thanks for always having my back, he said, his tone sincere. I wouldn't be here without you guys. You're the one who's worked so hard, Sakura replied, her eyes shining with pride. You're going to be a great ninja, Naruto. Just don't let it get to your head, Sasuke added, a smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. Too late for that, Naruto joked, his laughter ringing through the air. But beneath the humor, he felt a pang of guilt. They didn't know the darkness he fought daily, the power that threatened to consume him. As night fell, he lay awake once more, staring at the ceiling, the shadows around him growing heavier. What do you want from me? He asked the darkness, his voice barely a whisper. I want you to become what you are meant to be, it replied, its tone smooth and enticing. Asterisk, with your power, you can reshape this world. No more loneliness, no more rejection. You will be feared and respected. Asterisk. I don't want to be feared, Naruto shot back, a mix of anger and desperation in his voice. I want to be a hero. Heroes are often made of darkness, the voice taunted. Remember that. Naruto clenched his fists, determination burning in his chest. He would not lose himself to the darkness, he would find a way to harness it without letting it consume him. He would show the world his strength, but he would do it on his terms. The following day, the village buzzed with activity as news spread that Orochimaru had resurfaced. Whispers of his sinister plans circulated among the villagers, fueling anxiety. Naruto felt a sense of urgency wash over him. This was what he had sensed, the darkness looming on the horizon. We have to be prepared, Kakashi said during a gathering with the team. Asterisk, Orochimaru is a dangerous enemy. We can't underestimate him. Asterisk. Let him come, Naruto declared, the darkness swirling in his chest, igniting a fierce determination. "I'll take him on myself if I have to." "You're not alone in this," Sasuke said firmly, meeting Naruto's gaze. "We'll face him together." Sakura nodded, her expression resolute. "We'll protect each other, no matter what." With their words of encouragement, Naruto felt a surge of hope, yet the darkness within him whispered its own promises. As they strategized, he fought to keep the shadows at bay, focusing on the task ahead. Days turned into a tense waiting game as the village prepared for the inevitable confrontation with Orochimaru. Naruto spent his time training, honing his skills, and pushing himself to the limits. He felt the darkness within him, but he was determined to remain in control. The day finally arrived when Orochimaru and his forces attacked the village. The skies darkened as chaos erupted, and Naruto could feel the familiar surge of adrenaline rush through him. This was his chance to prove himself, to show everyone that he was not just a vessel for darkness but a warrior who would protect his home. "We'll hold the line," Naruto shouted to his friends as they gathered at the village entrance, determination shining in their eyes. "We won't let them through." As the first wave of enemies charged, Naruto felt the darkness respond, a fierce energy crackling at his fingertips. He drew upon it, allowing it to flow through him as he unleashed a barrage of attacks. "Dark wave," he shouted, sending his surge of energy that knocked several opponents off their feet. The power felt exhilarating, yet a part of him remained cautious, aware of the balance he needed to maintain. The battle raged on, each clash echoing through the village as Naruto fought alongside his friends, their bond strengthening as they faced the onslaught together. But as the fight progressed, Naruto could feel the shadows beckoning him, urging him to embrace the chaos fully. "No," he muttered under his breath, fighting to keep his focus. "I won't give in." But as more enemies poured into the village, the darkness swelled within him, demanding release. "Let me out," it hissed, echoing in his mind. "Together, we can destroy them all." "Shut up," he growled back, his fists clenching as he fought against the rising tide. "I'm stronger than you'd think." With a roar, he unleashed another powerful jutsu, the dark entity swirling around him like a tempest. He could feel the fear in his enemy's eyes, and for a fleeting moment, he relished it. But he quickly shook off the thought, reminding himself of his true purpose. "I fight for my friends," he declared, channeling all his energy into his next attack. "I fight for the village." As the battle intensified, Naruto found himself standing toe-to-toe with Orochimaru himself. The legendary Chunin smirked, his gaze fixated on Naruto's dark energy. "You're quite the interesting one, aren't you? A vessel of darkness and light. I'm not your puppet," Naruto growled, his eyes blazing with determination. "I'll take you down myself." "Is that so?" Orochimaru taunted, his voice dripping with malice. "I look forward to seeing what you can do." The two clashed, the air crackling with power as they exchanged blows. Naruto felt the darkness surge within him, but he fought to keep it in check. He would not let it control him, no matter how tempting it was. With each strike, Naruto tapped into the darkness, feeling it enhance his abilities. He launched a barrage of jutsu, combining his chakra with the dark energy swirling around him. The power felt intoxicating, and for a moment, he allowed himself to embrace it fully. "Shadow Raise Nan," he shouted, unleashing the dark energy in a concentrated attack that slammed into Orochimaru, sending him sprawling. But as the dust settled, Naruto felt the darkness trying to take over, urging him to finish the fight with brutal force. "No," he yelled, shaking his head to dispel the thoughts. "I can't let you win." "You're stronger than you know," Orochimaru said, rising to his feet, a hint of admiration in his eyes. "But you're still holding back." "I don't need your approval," Naruto retorted, summoning his energy for another attack. "I fight for myself, for my friends." The battle raged on, each clash echoing throughout the village as Naruto felt the darkness clawing at his resolve. It was a delicate balance, a constant struggle to remain in control while harnessing the immense power within him. As the fight escalated, Naruto began to feel the toll of his efforts. He pushed himself further, drawing upon the darkness, yet he felt the whispers growing louder. Embraced it, Naruto, the voice echoed. Asterisk, you are destined for greatness. Just let go, asterisk. But he couldn't. He wouldn't. I'm not afraid of you, he shouted into the void, focusing all his energy into one final attack. Dark Phoenix, he roared, unleashing a massive wave of dark energy that engulfed Orochimaru. The blast sent shockwaves through the village, and for a moment, silence enveloped the battlefield. As the smoke cleared, Naruto stood panting, his body trembling with exhaustion. He had pushed himself to the brink, but he felt a sense of victory wash over him. Orochimaru lay defeated, a look of shock on his face. How is this possible? The Chunin gasped, struggling to rise. You underestimated me, Naruto said, his voice low but firm. You thought you could manipulate me, but I'm no one's puppet. With a final surge of energy, Naruto prepared to strike the finishing blow, but a flicker of doubt crossed his mind. He could feel the darkness beckoning, urging him to unleash everything he had, to obliterate his enemy. But as he looked at Orochimaru, he hesitated. No, he muttered, shaking his head. This isn't who I am. Instead of delivering the final blow, he stepped back, allowing Orochimaru to retreat. You've lost today, he said, voice steady. Asterisk, but I won't kill you. You'll have to live with your defeat, asterisk. The Chunin's eyes narrowed, a mix of fury and grudging respect in his expression. Asterisk, you're stronger than I thought, Naruto. This isn't over, asterisk. With that, Orochimaru vanished into the shadows, leaving the battlefield quiet. Naruto stood among the rubble, breathing heavily, the darkness within him still swirling but held at bay for now. His friends rushed to his side, their expressions a mix of awe and concern. You did it, Naruto, Sakura exclaimed, her eyes wide with disbelief. You defeated Orochimaru, Sasuke said, pride evident in his voice. Yeah, but it's not over yet, Naruto replied, still feeling the weight of the darkness. Asterisk, I have to keep training. I need to learn to control this power before it consumes me, asterisk. We'll help you, Sakura assured him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Together, we can face whatever comes next. Naruto nodded, grateful for their support. But deep down, he knew the battle within him was far from over. The darkness was a part of him, a powerful force that would continue to challenge his resolve. As the village began to rebuild, Naruto felt a renewed sense of purpose. He would not let the darkness defeat him. Instead, he would learn to wield it as a weapon for good. He would protect his friends, the village, and everything he held dear, embracing the complexity of his existence. The path ahead would not be easy, but Naruto was determined to face it head-on. He would forge his own destiny, a true warrior of the light and the dark. This is just the beginning, he thought, looking toward the horizon. I will become stronger, and I will control my fate. And with that resolve burning brightly within him, Naruto stepped forward, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. As the days passed in the Hidden Leaf Village, Naruto found himself caught in a whirlwind of emotions. The victory over Orochimaru had been exhilarating, but the shadows still loomed large in his mind. Despite the cheers and celebrations, the darkness within him had awakened something deeper, a hunger for power that both thrilled and terrified him. Every morning, he trained rigorously, pushing his limits further than ever before. He could feel the power bubbling beneath the surface, the darkness pulsating in sync with his heartbeat. The jutsu he had developed were becoming more potent, but he was acutely aware of the cost. Each time he embraced that energy, he risked losing a piece of himself. One afternoon, after an intense training session, Naruto found himself alone on a cliff overlooking the village. The sun hung low on the horizon, casting long shadows that danced at his feet. He took a deep breath, allowing the cool wind to wash over him, trying to calm the storm within. What do you want from me? He whispered to the darkness, his voice barely above a murmur. The response was immediate, echoing in his mind like a distant thunderclap. Asterisk power, Naruto. You were born for greatness. Stop denying your true nature, asterisk. I won't become like Orochimaru, he replied fiercely, clenching his fists. I won't be a monster. Monsters are merely misunderstood, the voice countered, smooth and alluring. Asterisk, you have the potential to reshape this world. Let me guide you. Asterisk. Naruto closed his eyes, forcing himself to focus on the memories of his friends, their laughter, their unwavering support. They were the light in his life, the reason he fought so hard. No, he repeated, this time with conviction. Asterisk, I won't let you take control. I'll find my own path. Asterisk. With that thought firmly planted in his mind, he pushed back against the darkness, feeling it recede momentarily. But he knew this was a temporary reprieve. The shadows would always be there, waiting for a moment of weakness. As he descended from the cliff, his resolve hardened. He would seek out the best ways to master his power. He needed allies, mentors who could help him channel the darkness without succumbing to it. There were whispers of ancient scrolls hidden in a village, texts that could help him understand the balance between light and dark. The next day, Naruto approached Kakashi, his sensei, during their training session. Kakashi-sensei, he began, a serious tone underlying his usual exuberance. Asterisk, I need your help. There's something I want to learn about the balance of power. Asterisk. Kakashi looked up from his book, curiosity piqued. What do you mean, Naruto? Asterisk, I've been feeling this darkness inside me, and I want to understand it better. I don't want to lose control, but I also don't want to suppress it completely. Asterisk. Kakashi nodded slowly, his expression turning thoughtful. Asterisk, it's good that you recognize the importance of control, Naruto. But this path is fraught with danger. Are you sure you want to delve deeper into this darkness? Asterisk. I have to, Naruto insisted, determination etched on his face. Asterisk, if I don't, I risk losing myself, and I won't let that happen. I want to protect the village and everyone I care about. Asterisk. After a long pause, Kakashi sighed, running a hand through his hair. Asterisk, all right, Naruto. I'll help you. But you need to promise me that you'll stay vigilant. The darker aspects of power can lead even the strongest down a dangerous path. Asterisk. I promise, Naruto replied, relief flooding through him. Kakashi directed him to a secluded area of the training grounds, an old stone shrine that had seen better days. Asterisk, this place is rumored to have been a site of power centuries ago. It's said that those who meditate here can find clarity. Asterisk. Naruto approached the shrine, a sense of awe washing over him. The air felt charged, almost electric, as he closed his eyes and focused on his breathing. I want to understand, he whispered to the darkness inside him. I want to control you. As he entered a meditative state, images began to flash in his mind, visions of ancient battles, powerful jutsu, and the silhouettes of long-forgotten warriors. Among them, he recognized himself, not as the Naruto he knew, but as something darker, more powerful. Yes, the voice cooed softly. Asterisk, this is your true form. Embrace it, and you will never be weak again. Asterisk. But Naruto shook his head, pushing against the sensations. I won't let you control me, he shouted, forcing his focus back on the memories of his friends, their faces bright and smiling. With every ounce of willpower, he drove the darkness back, feeling a rush of energy flow through him. It was exhilarating, but it also drained him, leaving him panting on the ground as the visions faded. He opened his eyes to find Kakashi watching him, a knowing look in his eye. You're stronger than you realize, Naruto, Kakashi said. Asterisk, but strength isn't just about power. It's also about knowing when to wield it. Asterisk. I understand, Naruto replied, still catching his breath. I need to train harder, learn to control it more effectively. We'll work on that, Kakashi assured him. Asterisk, but remember, it's essential to have balance. If you lean too heavily into the darkness, it will consume you. Asterisk. With Kakashi's guidance, Naruto began to train not only his physical skills but also his mental fortitude. They practiced various techniques that focused on control, enhancing his ability to harness the darkness without allowing it to overwhelm him. In the evenings, Naruto often found himself at the shrine, meditating and reflecting on his growth. Each time, he faced the darkness within him, learning to push it back while gaining a deeper understanding of his own power. He could feel himself evolving, becoming more adept at wielding the energy without succumbing to it. As the weeks passed, Naruto's reputation within the village grew. He became known not just for his strength but for his newfound wisdom. However, the whispers of Orochimaru's return still lingered, a constant reminder of the threat that loomed over them. Then, one day, as Naruto was training with Sakura and Sasuke, a messenger arrived in a hurry. "We need your help," he exclaimed, his face pale. Orochimaru has been spotted near the village. He's gathering forces. Naruto's heart raced. The moment had come sooner than he expected. He exchanged glances with Sakura and Sasuke, and in that silent communication, they understood what needed to be done. "We have to protect the village," Naruto declared, the darkness within him surging with anticipation. "This time, I won't hold back." "We fight together," Sasuke stated firmly, a fire igniting in his eyes. "Right," Sakura added, determination set in her expression. "We can't let him destroy everything we love." They moved quickly to gather the other ninjas in the village, forming a united front. As the sun began to set, they took their positions, ready to face Orochimaru and whatever dark forces he had brought with him. When the first wave of Orochimaru's forces arrived, the clash was thunderous. Naruto felt the adrenaline coursing through him, the darkness inside roaring with excitement. He tapped into that energy, fueling his attacks with a ferocity that was both exhilarating and terrifying. "Dark Torrent!" he shouted, unleashing a wave of dark energy that crashed into the enemy ranks. He reveled in the chaos, the fear in their eyes feeding the darkness within him, but he fought to keep his focus sharp. As the battle intensified, he found himself face to face with Orochimaru once again. The Sunin's smile was predatory as he surveyed the battlefield. "So, you've come to play, Naruto. You've grown stronger, And you're about to lose," Naruto replied, channeling his energy into his next attack. "I won't let you destroy this village." The two clashed with fierce intensity, each blow resonating like thunder. Orochimaru was cunning, using every trick at his disposal, but Naruto felt the darkness in him push him to new heights. He began to unleash a flurry of jutsu, the energy crackling like wildfire around him. "This is your true power," the voice in his mind urged him. Embrace it. Show them what you can really do, For a moment, he considered it. The thought of unleashing everything, the destruction, the fear was tempting. But then he remembered the faces of his friends, the promises he had made to protect them. "No," he growled, forcing the darkness back down. "I fight for them, not for power." "Foolish boy," Orochimaru hissed, his eyes narrowing. "You will never defeat me with that mindset." "We'll see about that," Naruto shouted, channeling all his energy into a final, devastating attack. Dark Phoenix Strike. A massive surge of dark energy erupted from him, engulfing Orochimaru in a whirlwind of raw power. The force of the attack sent shockwaves through the battlefield, the light and dark clashing in a cataclysmic display. As the dust settled, Naruto stood firm, breathing heavily but resolute. He had faced the darkness within him, harnessed it, and turned it against his foe. Orochimaru lay defeated, the malice in his eyes replaced with shock. How?" the Chunin gasped, struggling to rise. "I won't let you win," Naruto replied, his voice steady. "This ends now." With that, he prepared to deliver the final blow, but once more, he hesitated. The darkness within urged him to finish it, to obliterate his enemy completely. Yet as he looked at Orochimaru, he remembered his promise to himself not to become a monster. "You've lost," Naruto stated, stepping back. But I won't take your life. You'll have to live with your failure. Orochimaru's expression morphed into one of rage and disbelief, but Naruto felt a sense of peace wash over him. He had conquered the darkness, if only for now. As Orochimaru retreated, Naruto turned to his friends, their expressions a mixture of relief and admiration. "We did it," he said, a smile breaking through his exhaustion. "You were amazing, Naruto," Sakura exclaimed, her eyes shining with pride. "Yeah," Sasuke added, nodding. "You're stronger than any of us thought." "Thanks," Naruto replied, feeling the warmth of their support enveloping him. But I know this isn't the end. I have to keep training, keep learning. As the sun set on the battlefield, Naruto looked toward the horizon, a new determination igniting within him. The darkness was a part of him now, but he would master it, use it as a tool to protect those he cared about. This is just the beginning, he thought, a fire blazing in his heart. I will forge my own path, one that brings balance and strength. I am Naruto Uzumaki, and I will not be defeated. With that resolve, he stepped forward, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the Hidden Leaf village, Naruto felt a profound sense of accomplishment. They had faced Orochimaru, and for now, they had prevailed. But as he looked out over the village, a familiar unease stirred within him, the knowledge that this victory was only a fleeting moment in a much larger battle. The aftermath of the battle left the village buzzing with energy. Ninjas and villagers alike celebrated their triumph over Orochimaru's forces, and there was laughter, relief, and camaraderie in the air. But amidst the festivities, Naruto's mind remained clouded. The darkness still lingered within him, whispering promises of power and greatness. "You did well, Naruto," Kakashi remarked, joining him on the hill overlooking the village. His expression was calm, but there was a hint of concern in his eyes. "But you know this is just one battle in a much larger war?" "I know," Naruto replied, his gaze fixed on the vibrant celebrations below. "But it feels like we're winning, even if it's just a little." "Every victory counts," Kakashi acknowledged, his tone thoughtful. But be cautious. The darker your power grows, the more it will tempt you. You must stay vigilant. Naruto nodded, appreciating Kakashi's wisdom. He had come to understand that while he could wield the darkness within him, he had to maintain control. He was determined not to let it consume him. As the festivities continued, Naruto felt a pull toward the village's archives. He needed to learn more about the origins of his powers, the balance between light and dark. He excused himself from the celebration and headed toward the village library, a vast collection of scrolls and ancient texts waiting for him. Inside, he quickly made his way to the section on forbidden jutsu and ancient legends. He needed information on controlling dark energies and the implications of wielding such power. The atmosphere was quiet, the air thick with a scent of old parchment and ink. After several hours of combing through scrolls, he stumbled upon a particularly ancient text, its pages worn and frayed. The title read "The Balance of Forces, Light and Shadow?" Excitement coursed through him as he opened the scroll. "In the beginning, there existed two primordial forces," he read aloud. The light, which brought life and hope, and the shadow, which embodied chaos and destruction. Those who seek to wield these powers must understand the necessity of balance. Failure to do so may lead to one's downfall. The words resonated within him. He knew he had to master this balance, it was the key to wielding his dark powers without losing himself. He spent hours engrossed in a scroll, absorbing every detail about the ancient warriors who had walked the line between these forces, often facing dire consequences for failing to do so. As he finished the scroll, a chill ran down his spine. The last lines read, "Beware the allure of power, it will promise you the world, but it can just as easily take everything away." With that warning echoing in his mind, Naruto resolved to take his training to the next level. He would not only learn to control the darkness but would also ensure that it served the purpose greater than himself. It was a powerful lesson, and one that he would carry with him moving forward. Over the next few days, Naruto intensified his training. With Kakashi's guidance, he practiced advanced techniques while also focusing on meditation to keep the darkness in check. He utilized the shrine as a sanctuary, a place where he could confront the shadows and learn to channel their power without losing control. Sakura and Sasuke joined him in training, their bond strengthening as they faced new challenges together. Each time they faced an enemy or practiced new jutsu, Naruto felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was no longer just fighting to become Hokage, He was fighting to protect the very essence of what he held dear. One evening, as they trained under the moonlight, Naruto suddenly felt a tremor in the air, a disturbance that sent his instincts into overdrive. The darkness within him stirred, sensing an approaching threat. He exchanged worried glances with Sakura and Sasuke. "Did you feel that?" he asked, his voice low. "Yeah," Sasuke replied, his eyes narrowing as he scanned the surroundings. "It feels ominous." Before they could react, a figure emerged from the shadows, cloaked in darkness. It was a tall figure with piercing red eyes that glowed ominously in the night. Naruto's heart raced as he recognized the aura, the presence of a powerful adversary. "Naruto Uzumaki," the figure intoned, voice smooth yet laced with malice. "I've come for you." "Who are you?" Naruto demanded, stepping forward, his fists clenched. "I am known as Naughties," the figure replied, a sinister smile playing on his lips. *A harbinger of shadows. "I've been observing you, and I must say, I'm intrigued by your potential *. "I'm not interested in your gains," Naruto shot back, readying himself for a fight. Naughties chuckled softly, the sound sending chills down Naruto's spine. "Oh, but this is no game, my friend. You have something I want, the darkness within you. With it, I could unlock unimaginable power *. I'll never let you control me," Naruto yelled, feeling the darkness within him surge in response to the threat. "Control?" Naughties echoed, amusement dancing in his voice. "You misunderstand. I am not here to control you, I am here to offer you a choice. Join me, embrace your true nature, and together we can unleash chaos upon this world *. Sakura stepped forward, ready to defend Naruto. "You won't get to him," she shouted, her fists clenched. "And what do you think you can do against me?" Naughties replied, dismissive. "You are but a flicker in the grand design. But he is destined for greatness *. "You're wrong," Naruto growled, stepping forward defiantly. "I won't let you manipulate me or anyone else. I fight for my friends and for what's right. Naughties' smile widened, his eyes glinting with dark amusement. "Then let's see if you can back up those words." With that, he lunged forward, the air around him crackling with dark energy. Naruto reacted instinctively, tapping into the darkness within him, preparing to defend against the onslaught. The clash of power was immediate, a shockwave reverberating through the training ground as they collided. Naruto felt a familiar rush of dark energy coursing through him, but he fought to maintain control. He would not let Naughties draw him into the abyss. "Dark Shadow Strike," Naughties shouted, unleashing a wave of energy that surged toward Naruto. Reacting quickly, Naruto countered with his own attack. "Raise Nan!" he cried, forming the swirling sphere of chakra infused with dark energy. The two attacks collided, sending shockwaves through the ground as they struggled for dominance. "Impressive," Naughties said, his voice tinged with admiration. But you are still holding back. Embrace the darkness, and you will never lose *. "I said no," Naruto yelled back, pushing himself further. He could feel the darkness urging him to give in, to unleash everything he had. But he wouldn't let it consume him. With a surge of determination, he tapped deeper into his reserves. "I am Naruto Uzumaki. I will not be defeated. *. Channeling every ounce of his strength, he unleashed a powerful jutsu. "Dark Phoenix Barge," he shouted, launching a series of blazing dark projectiles that shot toward Naughties. The figure attempted to dodge, but the barge was relentless. The impact of the jutsu sent him skidding back, a surprised expression crossing his face. "You're stronger than I thought," he admitted, his demeanor shifting slightly. But strength alone isn't enough to wield the darkness. You need to let it flow freely, without restraint. "I won't let it define me," Naruto retorted, feeling the darkness within him roil at Naughties' words. He wouldn't give in. They exchanged blows, the intensity of their fight echoing throughout the village. Naughties was powerful, a formidable opponent who danced around Naruto's attacks with a sinister grace. But with each clash, Naruto felt himself growing stronger, more resolute. You can't win, Naruto, Noctis taunted, landing a kick that sent Naruto sprawling. You're fighting against your very essence. I'm fighting for my friends, Naruto yelled, rising to his feet with renewed vigor. I won't let you take them from me. As the battle raged on, the darkness surged within him, but Naruto focused on his determination, channeling that energy into a final strike. I won't hold back anymore, he shouted, feeling the energy gather in his palms. With every ounce of power he could muster, he unleashed his ultimate technique. Shadow Raisin Shuriken. The dark energy spiraled toward Noctis, illuminating the night with its chaotic brilliance. The figure's eyes widened, and for the first time, Naruto saw a flicker of fear. No, Noctis shouted, raising his hands in defense. But the attack was relentless, crashing into him and enveloping him in a maelstrom of dark energy. As the dust settled, Naruto stood panting, adrenaline coursing through him. He had done it. He had faced the darkness head-on and emerged victorious. But even as he caught his breath, he felt a nagging sensation in the back of his mind. This isn't over, the remnants of Noctis' voice echoed through the clearing. Asterisk, you may have won today, but darkness never truly dies. It will return. Asterisk. Naruto gritted his teeth, feeling the darkness within him pulse in response. I'm ready for whatever comes next, he vowed, his voice steady. I won't let you or anyone else take what's important to me. As the last traces of Noctis' energy faded, he turned to find Sakura and Sasuke rushing to his side, their expressions a mixture of concern and admiration. Naruto, Sakura exclaimed, her eyes wide. Are you okay? I'm fine, he replied, shaking off the remnants of fatigue. Just a little sore, that's all. Sasuke crossed his arms, a hint of a smirk on his face. Asterisk, you did well. But you should be careful. That kind of power attracts unwanted attention. Asterisk. Naruto nodded, understanding the weight of Sasuke's words. Asterisk, I know. But I won't let it control me. I'll keep training, keep getting stronger. I'll find a way to balance it all. Asterisk. With that determination, they returned to the village, the night still hanging heavy in the air. As they walked, Naruto felt a strange sense of clarity wash over him. He was no longer just a boy seeking recognition, he was a force to be reckoned with. Days turned into weeks, and Naruto continued his rigorous training. He spent countless hours in meditation and practice, seeking to strengthen both his light and dark powers. With the support of his friends, he felt more determined than ever to master the balance between them. Yet, deep inside, he knew that the darkness would always be a part of him, a constant reminder of the power he wielded and the dangers that lurked in its depths. He couldn't ignore it, nor could he let it consume him. As time passed, whispers of new threats began to surface. Reports of rogue ninjas and dark forces stirring in the shadows reached the Hidden Leaf village. The world around them was shifting, and Naruto felt a sense of urgency grow within him. He had to be ready, not just for himself, but for everyone he cared about. One fateful day, as summons arrived from the Hokage. There's a gathering of the 5 great shinobi nations, Tsunade explained, her expression grave. Asterisk, they are concerned about the increasing activity of rogue factions and the potential for war. We need to discuss our strategy moving forward. Asterisk. Naruto felt a thrill of excitement mixed with anxiety. This was a chance to prove himself on a larger stage, to show that he could handle the responsibility that came with his growing powers. I'll be ready, he promised. The day of the summit arrived, and Naruto found himself among the most powerful leaders in the shinobi world. Each Hokage had their own experiences, their own burdens, and for a moment, he felt out of place. You may not be a Hokage yet, Tsunade whispered, sensing his uncertainty. Asterisk, but your strength and resolve are undeniable. Don't underestimate your place here. Asterisk. With her encouragement, Naruto took a deep breath and focused on the task at hand. As the discussions unfolded, they talked of alliances and strategies, sharing information about the rogue factions threatening their nations. We need to unite, one of the Kages stated firmly. If we don't, We risk losing everything we've built. As discussions progressed, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The darkness inside him stirred, sensing the tension in the room. Then, unexpectedly, the doors burst open, and a group of rogue ninjas stormed in, their intentions clear as they brandished weapons and unleashed chaos. "You will bow before us, or you will perish," their leader shouted, a cruel smile on his face. The room erupted into chaos as ninjas rushed to defend their leaders. In the midst of the fray, Naruto felt the darkness within him surge. He stepped forward, ready to confront the intruders head-on. "You picked the wrong place to start a fight," he declared, channeling his energy. "I won't let you harm anyone here." With that, he unleashed his power, the shadows swirling around him in an elegant dance of darkness and light. As he engaged the rogue ninjas, he realized he had come a long way since that first encounter with Naughties. He was stronger, more in control, and ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. He would protect his friends, his village, and ultimately, the world itself. The battle for balance had only just begun, but he was ready to fight. And this time, he would embrace both the darkness and the light, forging a new path toward a future where he would never have to choose between them again. The chaos that erupted in the summit hall was deafening. The air crackled with energy as the rogue ninjas, led by a tall figure shrouded in darkness, unleashed a torrent of jutsu against the gathered cages. Naruto felt the overwhelming surge of battle energy, the scent of danger filling the air, and he thrived in it. "Stay back," Tsunade shouted, her voice booming through the chaos. "We can handle this." But Naruto was already moving, propelled by a force that felt all too familiar. He embraced the shadows swirling around him, allowing them to blend seamlessly with his chakra. The world around him slowed as he focused on his target, the leader of the rogue ninjas, who was cackling with glee, reveling in the chaos he had created. "What do you want here?" Naruto shouted, his voice cutting through the din. "You won't get away with this." The leader turned, his eyes narrowing as he assessed Naruto. "And what are you going to do about it, Brep?" he motioned, and several of his comrades moved to flank Naruto, preparing to attack. "You're just a child playing with shadows." Naruto felt a surge of anger at the insult. "I'm not just a child," he yelled, focusing on the energy that thrummed within him. He drew upon the depths of his power, feeling the dark energy resonate with his will. "Shadow Raisin Shuriken," he shouted, thrusting his hands forward. The familiar swirling energy materialized, darker and more intense than before, slicing through the air toward the oncoming attackers. The rogue ninjas moved to dodge, but the attack was faster than they anticipated. The spiraling energy caught one of them squarely, the blast sending him crashing into a wall, leaving a gaping hole. The remaining ninjas faltered, fear etched on their faces. "Who's next?" Naruto challenged, adrenaline coursing through him. "Fools. You think you can stop us?" The leader shouted, summoning dark tendrils of energy that coalesced into a massive blade. "I'll show you the true meaning of despair." With a swift motion, he swung the blade, sending shockwaves that cracked the floor. Naruto didn't flinch, instead, he dove into the shadows, using them to propel himself forward. "Dark escape," he yelled, melting into the shadows and reappearing behind the leader, surprising him. What? The rogue leader barely had time to react before Naruto delivered a powerful kick that sent him sprawling. "I'm not afraid of you or your tricks," Naruto declared, his voice echoing with conviction. He felt the shadows enveloping him, granting him speed and strength. "I fight for what's right." As Naruto engaged the rogue leader, the cages fought valiantly against the other intruders. Tsunade's punches reverberated through the hall, and her medical ninjutsu kept her allies on their feet. Gaara, with his sand manipulation, created barriers, and launched attacks with precision. But Naruto was focused solely on the rogue leader, who was scrambling to regain his footing. "You think you can win with darkness alone?" he taunted. I've embraced it. "You'll never defeat me, You don't know what you're dealing with," the leader hissed, rising to his feet and summoning more dark energy. "This world will burn." In response, Naruto gathered his own chakra, merging it with the shadows around him. "And I'll be the one to stop you." He thrust his hands forward. Nightmare burst. A wave of energy erupted from him, a black and purple explosion that radiated through the room, engulfing the rogue leader. The force pushed back everyone around him, the shockwave rattling the foundations of the hall. As the dust began to settle, Naruto saw the leader stagger back, his expression shifting from confidence to fear. "No, this could be? It's over," Naruto shouted, gathering his energy for one last attack. "You chose the wrong fight." He concentrated, feeling the dark energy coiling around him, forming a new technique that he had envisioned during his training. Oblivion Slash. With a single swing, he unleashed a dark crescent wave that sliced through the air. The rogue leader attempted to block it, but the power was overwhelming. The energy collided with him, sending him crashing against the wall with a thunderous boom. For a moment, silence fell over the hall, the atmosphere thick with tension. "Get up," Naruto demanded, his voice low but fierce. "Show me what you're really made of." But as the dust settled, the rogue leader lay unconscious, the fight draining from him entirely. The remaining rogue ninjas, witnessing the defeat of their leader, hesitated. "What are you waiting for?" one shouted, trying to rally them. "We can't lose here." "You've already lost," Naruto shouted back, his voice echoing with authority. "Leave now, or face the consequences." A moment of hesitation filled the air before the remaining rogue ninjas retreated, scattering into the shadows. The battle had turned in favor of the cages, and Naruto felt a surge of pride. He had fought against the darkness and emerged victorious, not just for himself but for everyone he cared about. As the chaos subsided, the cages began regrouping. Tsunade approached Naruto, her expression a mixture of relief and pride. "You did well, Naruto. You saved us all." "I just did what I had to," he replied, wiping sweat from his brow. "But this isn't over. We need to prepare for whatever comes next." "You're right," Gaara agreed, his voice calm but serious. "This was just a glimpse of what we're facing. The forces of darkness are gathering, and we must unite to stand against them." "We will," Tsunade asserted. "But we need to be strategic. This threat won't vanish, it's only going to grow." As they discussed their next moves, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling of unease lingering in the back of his mind. The darkness within him pulsed, a reminder that there was still so much he didn't understand. He had embraced it during the battle, but he also knew he had to keep it in check. The following days were a flurry of activity as the cages devised a plan. They held meetings to discuss alliances and strategies, aiming to unite the shinobi world against the rogue factions threatening their peace. Naruto was at the forefront, driven by a fierce desire to protect his friends and his village. During one of the training sessions, he sought out Sakura and Sasuke. "We need to train harder," he said, determination clear in his eyes. "If we are going to face stronger enemies, we have to be ready." Sasuke nodded, already understanding the gravity of the situation. "I agree. We need to push our limits, even further than before." "I can help too," Sakura chimed in, her enthusiasm infectious. "We can focus on team jutsu to combine our strengths." With their plan in place, they began training intensively. Day after day, they pushed each other, honing their skills and strategies. They practiced their techniques, exploring new ways to combine their jutsu. Naruto felt the power within him grow, the darkness becoming more manageable as he trained alongside his friends. Yet, despite the intensity of their training, a new enemy loomed in the shadows. Whispers of a powerful organization began to surface, an assembly of rogue ninjas led by an enigmatic figure known only as the Wraith. The rumors suggested that this group sought to control the darkness, harnessing it for their own sinister purposes. As the cages continued their preparations, Naruto's nightmares grew more vivid. He dreamed of battles fought in shadows, of friends being consumed by darkness, and of the inevitable confrontation with the Wraith. Each night, he awoke in a cold sweat, the weight of his responsibilities pressing heavily on him. One night, unable to shake the feeling of dread, he wandered to the village's training grounds. The moonlight bathed the area in an ethereal glow, and he stood in the center, feeling the shadows coalesce around him. I can't keep running from this, he whispered, looking up at the night sky. I need to face whatever this is. In that moment, he felt a familiar presence. The darkness within him stirred, as if it understood his resolve. You seek power, it whispered, a voice echoing in his mind. Embrace me fully, and you will never falter. No, Naruto replied firmly. I won't lose myself to you. I'll find a way to master you, to control you, but I won't be your puppet. The darkness pulsed in response, and Naruto braced himself. He could feel the struggle within him, a constant battle between his desire for power and the need to maintain control. He fell to his knees, focusing on the energy that flowed through him. I will be stronger, he vowed, clenching his fists. I will protect my friends. I will find a way to balance this power. As he concentrated, he envisioned the darkness as a tool, not a master. It began to respond, the shadows wrapping around him like a protective cloak. He felt the power surge within him, sharper and more focused. Yes, he breathed, a smirk creeping onto his face. I can do this. Just then, a voice broke through his concentration. Naruto, it was Sasuke, his expression serious. Are you okay? I felt your chakra spike. Naruto stood up, shaking off the remnants of his internal struggle. Yeah, I'm fine. Just training. Sasuke raised an eyebrow, clearly unconvinced. You're pushing yourself too hard. We need to stay focused on a mission ahead. I know, Naruto replied, his determination unwavering. But we need to be prepared for the Wraith and his organization. We can't afford to be caught off guard. Agreed, Sasuke said, crossing his arms. Let's head back. We should inform the others. As they made their way back to the village, Naruto felt a sense of purpose grow within him. He was no longer just a kid seeking recognition, he was a force to be reckoned with, someone who had embraced both light and dark. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with danger and darkness. But he wouldn't back down. He would fight, not just for himself but for everyone he cared about. The battle for balance had begun, and he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, even if it meant confronting the shadows within himself. As dawn broke over the Hidden Leaf village, Naruto stood atop the Hokage monument, the rising sun illuminating his path. He gazed out at the horizon, determination burning in his eyes. I will protect my home, he promised to the wind. And I will not let the darkness consume me. With a final deep breath, he turned and descended, ready to unite his friends and prepare for the battles to come. The shadows may linger, but so did his resolve, stronger than ever. The world was changing, and so was he. The battle for the future was just beginning, and he would fight until the very end. The sun climbed higher in the sky, casting a warm glow over the Hidden Leaf village as Naruto descended the Hokage monument. He could feel the excitement thrumming in his veins as he headed toward the training grounds, eager to share his resolve with Sakura and Sasuke. As he approached, he saw his friends already in the midst of a sparring match. Sasuke moved like a shadow, his swift strikes punctuated by bursts of lightning chakra. Sakura countered with her own impressive speed, dodging and retaliating with precision. Their teamwork was becoming more refined, and Naruto felt a swell of pride as he watched them. Hey, guys, he called out, interrupting their match. I've got something important to share. Sasuke halted mid-strike, turning to face Naruto. What is it? He asked, curiosity flashing in his eyes. I've been really training, Naruto began, his voice filled with determination. I'm ready to take on the Wraith and his organization. But we need to work together if we're going to stand a chance. Sakura paused, wiping sweat from her brow. We've been preparing too, Naruto, she replied, her expression serious. But we need to come up with a solid plan. The intel on the Wraith is scarce, and we don't know what we're up against. That's why we need to gather more information, Naruto said, pacing back and forth. We should split up, scout the area, and see if we can find any traces of their activity. We can meet back here later to share what we find. Sounds like a solid plan, Sasuke agreed, nodding. I'll head toward the borders. If they are moving, they'll likely cross there. I'll check the outskirts of the village, Sakura added. There have been whispers of suspicious activity near the old training grounds. Perfect, Naruto said, his enthusiasm contagious. I'll go into the village and talk to some of the merchants. They might have seen something unusual. With their roles aside, the trio set off in different directions, a sense of urgency propelling them forward. Naruto navigated through the bustling streets of the Hidden Leaf, the familiar sights and sounds providing a sense of comfort even amidst the tension. As he approached the marketplace, he felt the shadows around him flicker with energy, a constant reminder of the power he wielded. The vendors were busy, and Naruto began asking questions, casually bringing up the recent disturbances. Have you noticed anything strange lately? He inquired of a fruit vendor, who looked up with a puzzled expression. Strange, the vendor replied, scratching his head. Well, now that you mention it, I did hear some rumors about a group of rogue ninjas sighted near the old ruins. Naruto's interest peaked. Really? What did you hear? Just whispers, really, the vendor continued, shrugging. They said they were looking for something powerful. Thank you, Naruto said, jotting down the information. He continued to gather intel, speaking to various merchants and townsfolk. The more he learned, the clearer it became that the Wraith's organization was actively seeking something beyond their grasp, a powerful artifact, perhaps. As the sun began to set, Naruto reconvened with Sakura and Sasuke at the training grounds. Both looked tired but satisfied, and Naruto felt a thrill of anticipation. I spoke with several vendors, he began, urgency coloring his tone. They mentioned sightings of rogue ninjas near the old ruins. They are searching for something powerful, but nobody knows what it is. I didn't find much, Sakura admitted, crossing her arms. But there were definitely rumors of strange movements near the abandoned training grounds. It's like they are gathering something. Sasuke, leaning against a tree, scowled in thought. I encountered a few rogue scouts on the border. They were moving in organized formations, which means they are preparing for something bigger. This isn't just random chaos. Then we need to move fast, Naruto said, his resolve intensifying. If they are planning something, we can't let them act first. We should investigate the ruins and see if we can discover what they are after. Agreed, Sasuke replied. But we should proceed cautiously. We don't know how many of them are out there. With their minds set, they began planning their next move. The old ruins were a few miles outside the village, a place steeped in history and mystery. They had heard tales of powerful artifacts hidden within, remnants of battles long forgotten. If the Wraith's organization was indeed after something there, they needed to find it first. That night, as they prepared to set out at dawn, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling of anticipation thrumming through him. The darkness within him pulsed, urging him to embrace it, to use it as a weapon. But he resisted, reminding himself of his vow to control it. The next morning, the trio set out early, the sun just beginning to rise, casting an orange hue over the landscape. As they approached the ruins, the air grew heavier, a sense of foreboding settling over them. Stay alert, Sasuke cautioned, his eyes scanning the surroundings. We're close. The ruins loomed ahead, ancient stones standing testament to a time long past. The remnants of old walls crumbled under the weight of history, and the dense forest surrounding the area felt alive with unseen eyes. What do you think they are after? Sakura asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Whatever it is, it's powerful, Naruto replied, his gaze fixed on the ruins. And if we don't stop them, it could spell disaster for the entire shinobi world. They moved cautiously through the ruins, the atmosphere thick with tension. Every shadow felt like a threat, every rustle in the underbrush making their hearts race. As they navigated deeper into the ruins, they stumbled upon a series of inscriptions carved into the stone walls. "Look at this," Sasuke said, kneeling to examine the markings. "These symbols, they are ancient." "Do you recognize them?" Sakura asked, leaning closer. "Somewhat," Sasuke replied, tracing a finger along the carvings. They speak of a power hidden within the ruins. Something that can shift the balance of light and darkness. Naruto felt a familiar stirring within him, the shadows pulsing as if responding to the words. "We need to find this power before the Wraith does," he declared, his determination igniting. Suddenly, a dark figure emerged from the shadows, standing before them with a sinister grin. "So you've come to seek the power, have you?" The figure was cloaked in black, eyes gleaming with malice. "Who are you?" Sasuke demanded, taking a defensive stance. "I am one of the Wraith's generals," the figure replied, voice smooth as silk. "And you've walked right into our trap. What do you want with this power?" Naruto asked, stepping forward, the darkness within him stirring. "It's simple," the general replied, his smile widening. "With the power of the ruins, we will plunge the world into eternal darkness, and you will be powerless to stop it." "We'll see about that," Naruto shouted, channeling his energy. "We won't let you take anything." "Fools," the general laughed, summoning dark energy that swirled around him like a storm. "You don't even know what you are up against." "Then let's find out," Naruto shouted, and with a surge of determination, he launched himself at the general. The shadows around him flared to life, enhancing his speed and strength. "Shadow Raise Nan," he yelled, unleashing the dark sphere of energy toward the general. The general countered with a wave of dark energy, colliding with Naruto's attack in a blinding flash of light. The impact sent shockwaves through the ruins, and Naruto felt the force rattling his bones. "You'll have to do better than that," the general taunted, his confidence unwavering. Sasuke and Sakura joined the fray, launching their own attacks to distract the general. "Now, Naruto," Sasuke called, executing a series of rapid-fire shurikens infused with lightning. "Got it," Naruto replied, focusing on the shadows around him. He felt the darkness within him surge, and with a swift motion, he combined it with his jutsu. "Oblivion Barge," he shouted, unleashing a flurry of shadowy projectiles aimed at the general. The dark energy crackled through the air, and the general's expression shifted to one of shock as he struggled to fend him off. "You think you can defeat me with mere shadows?" he shouted, frustration creeping into his voice. "It's not just shadows," Naruto declared, his resolve unwavering. "It's my will to protect my friends." With that, he summoned all of his energy, combining the darkness with the light within him, creating a swirling vortex of power. Night. "Merry Eclipse!" he yelled, and the vortex exploded outward, enveloping the general in a wave of dark and light. The clash was monumental, shaking the very foundations of the ruins. The shadows coiled around the general, trapping him in a prison of darkness. With one final push, Naruto forced the energy forward, breaking through the general's defenses. The figure screamed as he was consumed by the overwhelming force, his body disintegrating into nothingness. The dark energy dissipated, leaving the trio panting in the aftermath. "We did it," Sakura exclaimed, her eyes wide with disbelief. "For now," Sasuke said, his gaze narrowing. But we need to hurry. If the Wraith finds out we're here, he won't be pleased. "Let's keep moving," Naruto agreed, a sense of urgency washing over him. The danger was far from over. They needed to uncover the secrets of the ruins and find the power that the Wraith sought before it fell into the wrong hands. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the ruins, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows were more than just a power to wield. They were a part of him, an extension of his very being. The whispers of the past echoed in his mind, a reminder of the legacy he had inherited. As he'd embraced the darkness within, he felt invincible, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. But the path forward was fraught with danger, and the true test of his strength and resolve was yet to come. The darkness beckoned, and he would answer its call, not just for himself, but for the world that awaited him beyond the ruins. And as the shadows danced around him, he knew he was destined for greatness, a force of nature that would leave a mark on history, for better or worse. As they pushed deeper into the ruins, the atmosphere thickened with ancient energy, the air crackling with a palpable sense of power. Naruto felt it coursing through him, amplifying his resolve and drawing him closer to the heart of the darkness he was meant to control. The narrow stone corridors opened into a vast chamber, its high ceilings adorned with intricate carvings that glimmered faintly in a dim light. In the center stood a massive stone pedestal, upon which rested a dark crystal pulsating with a sinister light. It was surrounded by a faint aura that distorted the very air around it, making the atmosphere feel charged and dangerous. "Is that it?" Sakura whispered, her eyes wide with awe and apprehension. "That has to be the power the Wraith is after," Sasuke said, stepping forward cautiously. But we need to be careful. There's no telling what kind of traps or guardians might be protecting it. Naruto's heart raced. The darkness within him surged at the sight of the crystal, as if it was calling out to him. He felt an unexplainable connection to it, a pull that urged him to reach out and claim it as his own. "We need to destroy it," Sasuke stated firmly. "If the Wraith gets his hands on that, it could mean disaster." "No," Naruto said suddenly, surprising his teammates. "We can destroy it." "Not yet." He stepped closer to the pedestal, captivated by the pulsating light. "What if it's not just a weapon? What if it's the key to understanding this darkness? You're not seriously considering touching it, are you?" Sakura exclaimed, her voice tinged with fear. "We need to know what we're dealing with," Naruto insisted, the shadows around him swirling in response to his determination. "If I can understand this power, I can control it." Sasuke studied Naruto's expression, recognizing the fierce resolve in his eyes. "Fine," he relented. But be cautious. We don't know what might happen. With a deep breath, Naruto reached out toward the crystal, feeling the intense energy radiating from it. As his fingers brushed against its surface, a surge of darkness enveloped him, visions flooding his mind. He saw the remnants of battles fought long ago, the echoes of power wielded by ancient beings. He felt their pain, their triumphs, and their insatiable hunger for power. The shadows danced around him, whispering promises of strength and dominion. "Embrace it," a voice echoed in his mind, resonating with his very soul. "Embrace the darkness, and you will become unstoppable." Naruto's heart raced, caught between fear and exhilaration. He could feel the darkness coiling around him, seeking to consume him, but instead, he let it flow through him, harnessing its energy. "I will not be a puppet to you," he declared fiercely. "I am the master of my fate. I will use this power to protect my friends, not destroy them." As he asserted his will, the shadows reacted violently, surging back toward the crystal. The dark energy erupted in a burst of light, and Naruto was thrown back against the stone wall. Dazed but unbroken, he struggled to his feet, a newfound strength coursing through him. "Naruto," Sakura called, rushing to his side. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," he replied, feeling invigorated. I felt it. This power, it's more than just destruction. It can be a force for change. Suddenly, the crystal began to tremble, and a dark mist poured forth, coalescing into a swirling figure that took shape before them. The apparition was cloaked in shadows, eyes glowing with an eerie light, emanating a sense of both power and danger. "You dare to awaken me," the figure intoned, voice deep and resonant. "You who seeks the power of darkness. We are not here to harm you," Naruto declared, standing tall despite the overwhelming presence of the apparition. "We seek to understand this power, not to control it mindlessly." "Foolish child," the apparition replied, its voice echoing with ancient authority. Power is not to be understood, it is to be wielded. You may have awakened me, but that does not grant you mastery over the darkness. We'll see about that, Naruto retorted, his confidence bolstered by the energy flowing through him. I won't let you or anyone else dictate how this power is used. I will use it to protect those I care about. Your resolve is admirable, but you will learn that darkness has a will of its own, the apparition warned. To harness it, you must be willing to sacrifice everything. Naruto felt the shadows around him twist and pulse, and he stood firm, the weight of the challenge heavy upon him. I'm ready for whatever it takes. With that declaration, the apparition's form flickered, and the darkness erupted around them, engulfing the chamber in shadows. Naruto could feel the pressure building, the weight of ancient power pressing against him. If you wish to wield this power, prove your worth, the apparition thundered. Face the trials of darkness. Only then will you truly understand its might. As the chamber began to tremble, Sasuke and Sakura exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of concern and determination. Naruto, be careful, Sakura shouted, gripping his arm. We'll face this together. I'll be fine, Naruto reassured her, his voice steady. But this is something I need to do. I can't let fear hold me back anymore. With that, he stepped forward, ready to embrace the trials that lay ahead. The shadows enveloped him, a vortex of darkness and light intertwining, pulling him into a realm beyond comprehension. The world around him faded away, and he found himself standing in an endless void, darkness stretching infinitely in all directions. He was alone, yet he felt the presence of the apparition looming nearby, watching, waiting. Welcome to the trial of shadows, the apparition said, its voice echoing through the void. You will face your deepest fears, your greatest desires, and your own darkness. Only by overcoming these trials can you claim the power you seek. I'm ready, Naruto declared, his voice unwavering. Very well, the apparition replied. Your first trial begins now. Face yourself, In an instant, the void shifted, and Naruto found himself standing in front of a mirror. The reflection staring back at him was distorted, a twisted version of himself cloaked in darkness, eyes filled with malice and contempt. You think you can control the darkness, the shadowy reflection sneered. You're weak. You'll never be anything but a failure. Naruto's heart raced, the harsh words striking deep. But he refused to back down. I am not weak, he shouted. I've fought for everything I have. I won't let you define me. The shadow laughed, a sound that echoed with bitterness. You think your friends will always be there for you? They will abandon you when you are no longer useful. Embrace the darkness, and you will find true power. No, Naruto yelled, clenching his fists. They are my friends. They'll always stand by me. I don't need darkness to be strong. With that declaration, Naruto surged forward, shattering the mirror with a punch. The shards exploded outward, and the darkness around him twisted and writhed, losing its grip. You have shown some resolve, the apparition said, its voice still echoing through the void. But the trials are far from over. Your next challenge awaits. The void shifted once more, and Naruto found himself in a desolate landscape, the remnants of his past haunting him. He stood before a scene replaying the moment he was shunned by the villagers, the pain of loneliness washing over him anew. Look at you, a voice echoed in the air, cruel and mocking. Always seeking validation. You're nothing without their acceptance. Naruto felt anger surge within him, but he fought to contain it. I don't need their approval to be strong, he shouted. I've built my own path, and I will protect those I care about, no matter what they think. As he spoke, the landscape began to shift, and the villagers' faces morphed into those of his friends Sasuke and Sakura, smiling, supporting him. The scene transformed, reminding him of the bonds he had forged over the years. You may not have their approval, the voice taunted, but their loyalty will falter. When darkness comes, they will turn away. Not if I can help it, Naruto countered, feeling his resolve strengthen. I won't let anything tear us apart. I'm stronger than I was before, and I will protect my family. With each declaration, the darkness began to recede, revealing the bonds of friendship he had cultivated. The landscape morphed back into a bright scene, filled with laughter and light, pushing back the shadows that threatened to consume him. "You have passed the second trial," the apparition stated, its tone begrudgingly impressed. But the final trial will test your very essence. Face your darkest desires. The void swirled once more, and Naruto found himself standing on the edge of a cliff overlooking a vast expanse of destruction. Fires raged, and the cries of despair echoed in the air. He could feel the pull of power beckoning him, urging him to let go of his humanity and embrace the chaos. "This is what you truly desire," the apparition whispered, its voice dripping with temptation. To be a god among mortals, to revel in a fear you instill. Embrace it, and you will have the strength to crush all who oppose you. Naruto felt the darkness coiling around him, offering him unimaginable power. He could envision a world where he was the ultimate ruler, where no one could ever reject him again. The allure was intoxicating, promising everything he had ever wanted. But in that moment, he closed his eyes and centered himself. "No," he whispered, the shadows swirling around him. "I won't let you twist my desires. I don't want power for its own sake, I want to protect those I love. I will not sacrifice my humanity for strength." As he spoke, the darkness erupted, swirling chaotically, pushing against him. But he stood firm, anchoring himself in his resolve. The shadows screamed in defiance, but Naruto's light burned brighter, shattering the illusion that sought to consume him. "You have proven your will," the apparition's voice boomed, now filled with a mix of awe and fury. But know this, power always demands a price. You have chosen your path, but darkness will always seek to reclaim you. With those final words, the void collapsed around him, and Naruto was thrust back into the chamber, gasping for breath. He staggered, the remnants of the trials fading, but he felt changed. The shadows within him were now intertwined with his own essence, no longer a threat but a part of him he could control. Sasuke and Sakura rushed to his side, their expressions filled with concern. Naruto. "Are you all right?" Sakura asked, her voice trembling. "I'm fine," he replied, the shadows swirling gently around him. "I faced the trials, and I understand the power now." The dark crystal pulsated with energy, responding to Naruto's newfound strength. He could feel the bond between them, a connection that thrummed with potential. "What did you learn?" Sasuke asked, studying him intently. "I learned that darkness is not just a tool for destruction," Naruto explained, his voice steady. "It can be a part of who we are, but it must be wielded with purpose. I'll use it to protect our village, our friends." As he spoke, the darkness enveloped him in a protective embrace, a reflection of his resolve and determination. He turned toward the crystal, its light flickering as if recognizing his intent. "Let's take this power and use it wisely," he said, glancing at his friends. "We have to prepare for the Wraith's next move. This is just the beginning." Together, they stepped forward, ready to claim the power that would shape their destiny. The shadows thrummed with energy, promising untold strength and a path to protect everything they held dear. As they emerged from the ruins, the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the Hidden Leaf village. The world around them buzzed with life, but beneath it all, an undercurrent of danger loomed, a reminder that they were on the cusp of something far greater. Naruto felt a surge of purpose within him, fueled by the trials he had faced. He would not falter, he would become the force that kept his world safe, even if it meant embracing the darkness that lay within. With his friends by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, determined to carve his own path in a world that feared the shadows. The journey was far from over, but now, he was truly prepared to walk it, unyielding and resolute, driven by the desire to protect all he held dear. As Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura emerged from the ruins, the last rays of the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that stretched across the village. The air buzzed with anticipation, a prelude to the storm that was gathering on the horizon. With the power of the darkness now integrated into Naruto, he felt more alive than ever, each heartbeat resonating with the echoes of ancient strength. "We need to inform the Hokage," Sasuke said, his expression serious. "The Wraith is a threat we can't underestimate, and if he knows we're here, he will come for us," Sakura finished, her brow furrowed in worry. "We have to prepare?" Naruto nodded, the weight of responsibility settling heavily on his shoulders. First, we need to make sure everyone is safe. The villagers have no idea what's coming. With their goal set, the trio sprinted toward the heart of the Hidden Leaf village. As they dashed through the familiar streets, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The shadows danced playfully around him, a constant reminder of the power he now possessed. He could sense their hunger, a longing for chaos and destruction, but he remained steadfast. This darkness would be his weapon, not his master. Arriving at the Hokage's office, they were greeted by a flurry of activity. The room was filled with anxious chatter, the elders and Jonin strategizing in hushed tones, their faces pale with worry. As they entered, all eyes turned toward them, curiosity mingled with concern. "Naruto," Tsunade exclaimed, her gaze narrowing. "What happened down there? Did you find the Wraith?" "We encountered one of his generals," Naruto replied, stepping forward. "We defeated him, but the Wraith is still out there. He's after something powerful, something hidden in those ruins." "What do you mean?" Tsunade asked, leaning forward, her expression grave. "There's a dark crystal that holds immense power," Sasuke interjected. Naruto faced trials in its presence. "It's tied to the darkness itself." The room fell silent, the weight of Sasuke's words hanging heavily in the air. Tsunade's brow furrowed as she processed the implications. If the Wraith obtains that crystal, he could unleash chaos on the world. "We need to act fast." "What's the plan?" Naruto asked, his resolve unwavering. Tsunade looked around the room, meeting the eyes of her advisors before returning her focus to the trio. "We need to gather our strongest shinobi and prepare for an assault. If the Wraith is after that crystal, we can't let him reach it." "I'll go gather the others," Sakura volunteered. "We need everyone we can get." "I'll scout the perimeter," Sasuke added, determination etched on his face. "If there's any sign of the Wraith or his forces, we need to know." As they split up to execute their tasks, Naruto felt a strange mix of anxiety and excitement. The gravity of the situation weighed on him, but with the darkness now a part of him, he felt an unusual confidence. The power surged within him, a quiet whisper encouraging him to embrace it fully. As night fell, Naruto found himself standing at the village's edge, gazing out into the darkness. The stars twinkled above him, but their light felt distant, overshadowed by the impending threat. With a deep breath, he closed his eyes and reached within, feeling the dark energy flow through him like a river, powerful and alive. "I won't let anyone suffer because of me," he murmured, the shadows swirling around him in response. "I'll protect my village, my friends. No matter the cost." With that declaration, he opened his eyes, their depths swirling with darkness and determination. He turned back toward the village, ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. He was no longer just Naruto Uzumaki, he was a vessel of power, a harbinger of change. The next morning, the village buzzed with activity as shinobi gathered, each preparing for the battle ahead. Tsunade stood at the forefront, rallying the villagers and assigning teams. The urgency was palpable, a mix of fear and determination in the air. "Listen up," she called, her voice commanding attention. We're facing a threat unlike anything we've seen before. The Wraith seeks a dark crystal that could grant him unimaginable power. We cannot let that happen. Naruto stood among his comrades, the shadows curling around him like a cloak. He could sense their fear, but he was resolute. "We'll fight together," he shouted, his voice ringing with confidence. No matter what happens, we protect our home. We protect each other. The gathered shinobi responded with a roar of agreement. their spirits ignited by Naruto's words. He could feel the darkness within him thrumming in sync with their resolve, a reminder of the bond they shared. They would stand united against the storm, ready to face whatever came their way. "We're moving out," Tsunade commanded, and the shinobi dispersed, gathering their gear and preparing for battle. Naruto felt the adrenaline surge within him, anticipation coursing through his veins. As they made their way to the outskirts of the village, Naruto took the lead, his instincts heightened. He could sense the shadows lurking just beyond the tree line, waiting, watching. The power within him thrummed with life, urging him to take control. "Stay sharp," he called to his teammates. "I can feel them nearby." As they reached the clearing, the air thickened with tension. Dark figures began to emerge from the trees, their forms cloaked in shadow, moving with a fluidity that sent shivers down Naruto's spine. The Wraith's forces had arrived. "Get ready," Naruto shouted, his body tense, the darkness surging around him as he prepared for battle. The figures shifted and morphed, revealing themselves to be a mix of corrupted shinobi and creatures of pure shadow, their eyes glowing with malevolence. They moved as one, an army driven by a singular purpose, to claim the power of the Dark Crystal. "This is it," Tsunade yelled, rallying her forces. "We fight for our village. We fight for our friends. Let's show them what we're made of." With a collective battle cry, the shinobi surged forward, clashing with the darkness in a flurry of movement and jutsu. Naruto charged ahead, the shadows dancing at his fingertips as he called upon the power within him. "Shadow Clone Jutsu," he shouted, creating an army of clones that charged into battle. The shadows enveloped him, amplifying his strength as he propelled himself into the fray. The battlefield erupted into chaos. Naruto fought with an intensity fueled by the darkness, his attacks precise and devastating. With every punch and kick, he felt the power flowing through him, guiding his movements, making him unstoppable. As he engaged the enemy, he couldn't help but feel a strange exhilaration. The darkness wrapped around him, merging with his resolve, igniting a fire within him that pushed him beyond his limits. Each enemy he struck down only fed the power surging through his veins, transforming him into a force of nature. But as he fought, he could also sense the whispers in the back of his mind, tempting him to let go, to embrace the chaos. The shadows danced tantalizingly, promising him strength beyond imagination. "Focus, Naruto," he reminded himself, the battle raging on around him. He had to control the darkness, he couldn't let it control him. He was fighting not just for power, but for the bonds he had forged with his friends and his village. Nearby, Sasuke was in a fierce duel with a shadowy figure, his Sharingan blazing as he unleashed a torrent of fire. "Naruto," he shouted, dodging an attack. "Watch here flag. There are too many of them, "I know," Naruto replied, launching a barrage of shadow-infused Raisennans that tore through the enemy ranks. He could feel the tide of battle shifting, but the darkness was relentless, pouring in from every side. Suddenly, a powerful wave of energy surged through the battlefield, and Naruto turned to see a towering figure emerge from the shadows. It was the Wraith himself, clad in dark armor, his presence commanding and terrifying. The air crackled with malevolence as he stepped forward, eyes locked on Naruto. "So, you're the one who awakened the crystal," the Wraith said, his voice low and chilling. "You think you can wield its power? You're nothing but a child playing with forces beyond your comprehension." "I'm not afraid of you," Naruto shot back, standing tall despite the overwhelming aura radiating from the Wraith. "I'll protect my village. I won't let you take anything from us." "Foolish boy," the Wraith sneered, raising his hand. Shadows spiraled around him, coalescing into tendrils that lashed out toward Naruto. "You're nothing without your friends. Let me show you true power." Naruto felt the shadows closing in, but he refused to back down. "I am not alone," he roared, unleashing a surge of dark energy that exploded outward, clashing with the Wraith's attack. The two forces collided with a deafening roar, creating a shockwave that riddled through the battlefield. Naruto could feel the darkness trying to consume him, But he anchored himself in his resolve. He would not falter. "I will harness this power," he declared, channeling the shadows into a massive Raiznan, its surface swirling with dark energy. "And I will use it to defeat you?" With a primal roar, he launched the attack toward the Wraith, the darkness coiling around it like a serpent. The Wraith raised his own dark energy to counter, but Naruto's determination fueled the attack, propelling it forward. The two forces collided again, an explosion of light and shadow illuminating the battlefield. For a moment, time seemed to stand still as the energy surged, illuminating the faces of all the shinobi around them. The ground shook beneath their feet, and the air crackled with raw power. As the dust settled, Naruto stood firm, the darkness swirling around him in a protective embrace. He felt the energy coursing through his veins, a reminder of the path he had chosen. The Wraith, however, was not back, his expression a mixture of surprise and fury. "You're stronger than I anticipated," the Wraith admitted, but his eyes burned with rage. But you're still just a child. This is far from over. As he gathered himself, Naruto felt a surge of adrenaline. This was the moment he had been waiting for. He had embraced the darkness, learned to control it, and now it was time to unleash it fully. "I won't let you win," Naruto shouted, his voice echoing across the battlefield. "I will protect everything." With renewed determination, he charged forward, shadows coiling around him, ready to embrace his destiny. The battle was far from over, but now, he was prepared to face it head-on, driven by the darkness within him and the unbreakable bonds he had forged. And in that moment, as the echoes of battle surrounded him, he knew that this was just the beginning of a new era, one where he would rise as a true force of darkness, wielding unimaginable power to protect those he loved. With the energy of the clash still reverberating in the air, Naruto propelled himself forward, drawing on the shadows that swirled around him. Every step he took felt heavy with purpose, the darkness empowering his movements, pushing him beyond the limits he had known. "Raiznan," he yelled, channeling the swirling shadows into a new attack. This time, it was not just a simple Raiznan, it was a manifestation of the darkness he had embraced, an orb pulsating with ominous energy. As he hurled it at the Wraith, the battlefield seemed to hold its breath, all eyes drawn to the confrontation. The Wraith raised a hand to deflect the incoming attack, his dark aura flaring to life as he summoned a barrier of shadows to absorb the impact. "You think your petty techniques can harm me?" he taunted, a cruel smile twisting his lips. But Naruto's determination only burned brighter. "You have no idea what I'm capable of," he shouted, feeling the dark energy coalesce into a second attack. "This is just the beginning." As the Raiznan collided with a barrier, an explosion wrought the clearing, sending shockwaves through the ranks of shinobi. The force was so powerful that it knocked several enemies off their feet, creating a momentary gap in the Wraith's forces. But even as Naruto fought, he could feel the shadows pulling at his mind, whispering promises of power and chaos. "Embrace me," the darkness hissed. "Let go of the burden of control." But Naruto gritted his teeth, forcing back the seductive call of the shadows. "No. I won't let you take over." He had made a choice to use the darkness as a weapon, not to be consumed by it. He had to stay true to his resolve, to the bonds that anchored him to his humanity. With renewed focus, he summoned a larger army of shadow clones, each one imbued with the dark energy he had harnessed. "We fight together," he roared, and his clones surged forward, overwhelming the scattered enemies. They moved like a wave of shadow, unyielding and fierce, striking down the corrupted shinobi with relentless efficiency. Nearby, Sasuke was locked in a battle of his own, facing a particularly powerful enemy who wielded dark flames. Naruto. "I could use some backup," he called, narrowly dodging an inferno that threatened to consume him. "I'm on it," Naruto shouted, his clones racing to Sasuke's side. With a quick hand sign, he unleashed a wave of dark energy that swept over the enemy, extinguishing the flames and leaving them vulnerable. "Nice timing," Sasuke said, a flicker of gratitude crossing his face. He unleashed his own attack, the combined force of their powers creating a devastating chain reaction that sent the enemy flying. As the battle raged on, the tide began to shift in their favor. Tsunade led her own team, coordinating strategies with a precision that showcased her skills as Hokage. "Keep pushing forward," she ordered, rallying her shinobi. "Don't let up." But as they fought, the presence of the Wraith loomed larger, and Naruto could feel the oppressive energy surrounding him. The dark figure was recovering, and it wouldn't be long before he retaliated. "Naruto," Tsunade called, catching his attention. "We need to take out the Wraith. He's the source of their power." "I know," Naruto replied, determination igniting within him. He could sense the connection between the Wraith and his minions. Without their leader, the remaining forces would crumble. "I'll distract him," Sasuke declared, his Sharingan flaring to life. "You get in close and finish this." "You can count on me," Naruto replied, his heart racing. He understood the weight of Sasuke's words. This was their moment to turn the tide of the battle. With a fierce battle cry, Sasuke charged at the Wraith, weaving through the enemy ranks with impressive agility. He unleashed a barrage of fire and lightning, drawing the Wraith's attention away from Naruto. "Is this the best you can do?" the Wraith sneered, dodging the attacks with unsettling ease. "You're merely a shadow of what you could be? I'll show you what a real shinobi can do," Sasuke shouted, launching himself into the air, preparing his ultimate technique. Amaterasu. Black flames erupted from his eyes, lashing out toward the Wraith, who cursed and barely managed to evade the inferno. "Fool. You think you can harm me with fire?" The Wraith's aura flared, shadows swirling around him as he prepared to retaliate. That was Naruto's cue. With a determined roar, he pushed past the remaining enemies, his own power surging as he reached the Wraith. "I won't let you hurt my friends," he shouted, drawing upon every ounce of darkness within him. The Wraith turned, his eyes narrowing at the approaching figure. "You're brave, I'll give you that. But bravery alone won't save you." "Maybe not," Naruto grinned, a manic spark in his eyes. "But it's enough to end this." In that moment, he activated his ultimate technique, the Dark Raise-Nan, combined with the shadows swirling around him. It pulsed with energy, the darkness coiling like a serpent, ready to strike. "Raise-Nan," he yelled, launching the massive orb toward the Wraith with all his might. The Wraith raised his hands to shield himself, but it was too late. The Dark Raise-Nan collided with his defenses, exploding into a vortex of shadows and light. The force of the impact sent shockwaves rippling through the battlefield, knocking both allies and enemies off their feet. In the eye of the storm, Naruto felt the energy surging, a powerful rush that sent adrenaline coursing through his veins. The darkness roared with approval, but he remained focused, channeling his will into the attack. "This ends now," he declared, pushing through the energy, feeling the connection to his friends, to everything he was fighting for. As the explosion subsided, a cloud of dust and debris obscured the view. Silence fell over the battlefield as everyone stared, waiting for the outcome. When the dust finally settled, Naruto stood panting, eyes locked on the remnants of the Wraith's dark form. The figure staggered, a look of shock etched across his face. How is this possible?" he hissed, shadows flickering around him, struggling to maintain their form. "You underestimated me," Naruto replied, his voice steady, filled with newfound confidence. "And you underestimated the bonds I share with my friends." With a final surge of energy, Naruto unleashed a wave of darkness, consuming the Wraith in a final blast. The shadows engulfed him, and with a terrifying scream, he was swallowed whole, vanishing into the void. The battlefield erupted into cheers, the tension breaking as Naruto turned to his comrades, adrenaline coursing through him. "We did it," he shouted, exhilaration filling the air. Sasuke landed beside him, a rare smile gracing his features. "That was incredible, Naruto." "Yeah, but it's not over yet," Tsunade interjected, her expression turning serious. "We need to ensure that the Wraith's forces are dealt with before we can celebrate." Naruto nodded, the adrenaline still pumping through him. He glanced around, seeing his friends rallying together, combining their strengths to dismantle the remaining corrupted shinobi. The darkness that had threatened to consume him now felt like an ally, aiding him in protecting his village. As the final remnants of the Wraith's army fell, Naruto took a moment to breathe, the weight of what they had achieved settling on his shoulders. He felt a strange sense of fulfillment, but alongside it was a lingering awareness of the darkness within him, always lurking, always watching. "What now?" Sakura asked, joining them, breathless from the battle but beaming with pride. "We rebuild," Tsunade replied, surveying the scene. We help those who were affected and prepare for what might come next. The world is still dangerous, and we have to be ready. Naruto nodded, the resolve returning to his heart. I'll make sure that we are prepared for anything. We won't let darkness win. As they began to gather their comrades and assist the injured, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling of the shadows lingering just beneath the surface. He had embraced the darkness, learned to control it, but he knew it would always be a part of him. With the sun rising over the Hidden Leaf village, casting a warm light over the destruction and hope, Naruto resolved to wield that darkness as a shield to protect his loved ones. Together with his friends, he would carve a new path, one that balanced light and dark, where he could protect everything he cherished without losing himself. And in that moment, he felt an unwavering certainty that whatever challenges lay ahead, he would face them head-on, unyielding, powerful, and ready to embrace the darkness within while remaining the protector of his world. As the sun rose higher in the sky, casting a warm glow over the Hidden Leaf village, Naruto felt a renewed sense of purpose. The battle against the Wraith had been fierce, but they had emerged victorious, and now it was time to rebuild. The aftermath of the confrontation left a landscape of destruction, but amidst the rubble, there were signs of hope. Shinobi were already rallying together, helping those who had been affected by the battle, healing the wounded, and clearing the debris. Naruto could see Sakura and Tsunade working tirelessly, their medical ninjutsu weaving miracles among the injured. "Let's go help," he said to Sasuke and Sakura, determination shining in his eyes. "Right behind you," Sasuke replied, his demeanor more relaxed now that the immediate threat had been dealt with. As they approached the heart of the village, Naruto felt the familiar warmth of his friends and allies surrounding him. Their spirits, although battered, were not broken. There was an unspoken bond between them, a unity forged in battle and strengthened by their shared goals. "We need to make sure everyone is accounted for," Sakura said, her hands already busy checking on a group of injured villagers. "And we need to start repairing the damage." Naruto nodded, diving into the fray. He utilized his shadow clones to help with the rescue efforts, coordinating their movements with the precision of a seasoned leader. It felt good to be active, to contribute to the restoration of his home. "Naruto," a voice called out, drawing his attention. It was Hinata, her gentle demeanor a comforting presence amid the chaos. "I'm glad you're okay." "You too," Naruto replied, feeling a wave of relief wash over him. "Did you get hurt during the battle?" "No, I was helping to evacuate the villagers before the fight started," Hinata said, a faint blush on her cheeks as she avoided his gaze. "But I was worried about you." "I had it under control," he said with a smirk, though the truth was a little more complicated. He had felt the shadows beckoning him during the battle, and it was a constant reminder of the thin line he was walking. "But I appreciate your concern." As they continued to work side by side, Naruto felt his sense of camaraderie and strength in the bonds they shared. Each person he helped brought him closer to his goal, to protect the village and everyone he cared about. The darkness within him was a part of that journey, but he was determined to keep it at bay for the sake of his friends. As the day progressed, the village began to show signs of recovery. Teams of shinobi worked together to rebuild homes, tend to the injured, and restore order. However, amidst the effort to heal, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper was at play. The shadows he had embraced felt restless, whispering to him, urging him to explore the full extent of his powers. "Naruto," Sasuke said, breaking into his thoughts as he joined him. "You did well out there. Your new powers are impressive." "Thanks," Naruto replied, unsure of how to feel about the praise. "But I feel like there's still something I need to understand about this darkness." "You've taken on a lot," More than anyone else would have handled, Sasuke pointed out, his tone turning serious. Asterisk, it's important to stay grounded. You don't want it to consume you, asterisk. Naruto nodded, knowing that Sasuke was speaking from experience. The Uchiha had faced his own demons in the past, and the shadows that lingered within Naruto were no different. Asterisk, I won't let it. I'm in control, asterisk. Just be careful, Sasuke warned, the intensity in his gaze piercing. Asterisk, you're stronger than you've ever been, but that strength can attract danger. The Wraith wasn't the only threat out there, asterisk. I know, Naruto said, clenching his fists. Asterisk, but I won't back down. I'll protect everyone, no matter what, asterisk. Then let's keep pushing forward, Sasuke replied, a rare smile breaking his serious demeanor. Together. As the two friends stood amidst the rebuilding efforts, Naruto felt a surge of confidence. He wasn't just harnessing the darkness, he was learning to wield it. And with his friends at his side, he could face whatever threats lay ahead. Later that evening, as the sun began to set, casting a beautiful orange hue over the village, Naruto made his way to the training grounds. He needed to understand his powers more deeply, to ensure that he could keep the darkness in check while still using it to protect his home. As he arrived, he found a secluded spot surrounded by trees, the sounds of the village fading into the background. He took a deep breath, centering himself. Okay, let's see what you can do, he muttered, summoning a single shadow clone to assist him. What are we focusing on today? The clone asked, ready to train. I need to learn to control the dark energy, Naruto replied, closing his eyes and reaching within himself. I have to find a way to balance it. As he concentrated, the familiar warmth of the dark energy began to pool in his hands. It felt powerful yet chaotic, a force that could either protect or destroy. The shadows twisted and turned, eager to escape his control, but he fought against it. I won't let you take over, he asserted, forcing the darkness to take shape. He envisioned a new technique, one that would allow him to wield the shadows without succumbing to them. With a grunt of effort, he molded the dark energy into a swirling mass, attempting to refine it. Shadow raise Nan, he yelled, the technique taking form as the dark energy coalesced into a sphere, pulsating with raw power. He hurled it into the distance, watching as it tore through the air, leaving a trail of darkness in its wake. Upon impact with a nearby tree, the ground shook, and the tree splintered into pieces, sending debris flying. I can do better, he muttered to himself, pushing past the initial success. Time seemed to slip away as he trained, each attempt building upon the last. With each strike, he learned more about the balance of his powers. The darkness that had once threatened to consume him began to feel less like an enemy and more like a part of his arsenal. Hours passed, and as the stars twinkled overhead, Naruto finally stopped, panting but satisfied. He could feel the darkness flowing through him, a tempest waiting to be unleashed, yet he remained grounded. He had not just embraced the shadows, he had claimed them. This is just the beginning, he whispered to himself, the realization igniting a fire within him. I'll protect everything I care about, and I won't lose myself in the process. As he made his way back to the village, the weight of his resolve settled comfortably on his shoulders. He knew that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges, and he would need to confront the darkness lurking within. But with his friends by his side and a strength he had gained, he was ready to face whatever awaited him. The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the village bathed in moonlight, a symbol of the new era he was stepping into. As he entered the village, the cheers of the villagers filled the air, a reminder of why he fought. He smiled, his heart swelling with purpose. Whatever threats lay ahead, he would face them head-on, harnessing the shadows not as a curse but as a powerful ally. Together, he murmured, feeling the weight of the words resonate within him. The bonds he shared with his friends would be the light that guided him through the darkness, and he would protect that light with every ounce of power he possessed. The next day, the village would awaken to a new reality. Naruto would stand at the forefront of that change, not just as a protector but as a force of nature, a blending of light and shadow, destined to rewrite the fate of his world. And deep down, he knew that whatever challenges awaited, He was ready to embrace them, wielding the darkness with the strength of a true shinobi. He could feel it in his bones. This was just a beginning. The world had yet to see the full extent of his power, and he intended to make sure that they never would.